Well, hello everyone. We meet again. I am Salty Texas C, otherwise known as Corey DB. I want to give a special welcome to Zax, Kyle, and Nathan, a Man of Manetheren. Kyle, Zax, go ahead first.
Well, I'm just glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I've been watching your channel since the whole Wheel of Time disaster started, and so I'm very happy to be on this panel and got some spicy things to say. My channel is right here, Zach7.
And Zach does great montages. Not only that, but Zach reached out to me and was so helpful, especially with helping introduce me to people, but also being a fantastic mod, which he is doing double duty tonight. So thank you very much for that. With that said, let's jump over to a Man of Manetheren, Nathan. Hail, sir.
How's it going? So yeah, I'm Nathan. Man of Manetheren is my channel. Just getting started with this whole critique stuff, but we can if you don't like my stuff, you can blame Rafe for that. But yeah, there's just too much going on with pop culture that it's got to be answered, and I think a lot of people are doing it. I figured why not throw my 2 cents in.
Well, you're doing great. I saw your most recent video, and that's when I reached out to you because you blew me away, because you have a set of skills that I don't necessarily have. And some of the data points that you found within critic scores and how they were being represented on Rotten Tomatoes blew me away. And then, of course, before the show started, I wish you guys in the chat, in the comments section, could have been a fly on the wall with some of the things that Nathan just dropped on us. I thought I was done with the Wheel of Time. Something very big is breaking, and we will probably get into it in the show. However, before we do that, let's reach out to OBG70, my wingman, the goose to my Maverick. How are you doing, Mike?
I guess I'm Goose, huh? Goose is dead, though. Anyways, hey, guys, what's up?
You could be Maverick. It's fine.
Iceman, I think, is more. Anyways.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Or the Wizard. I don't know. Tim Robbins. Anyways, okay. So, guys.
No volleyball. No volleyball.
No, actually, I like beach volleyball. It's one of my favorite things. Guys, so this is OBG70. I'm over there on YouTube at OBG70. And also, I'm over on the new Twitter replacement that Get R, double R, whatever it is.
Yep.
And I'm at OBG70 over there as well. I just signed up yesterday, following Joe Rogan over there. What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a great new year so far. We're not too far into it. So far, everything seems to be going well. But you never know. We still have 361 days to go.
That's why I love having Mike on this show. He provides such an optimistic counterpoint to my sarcastic negativity. Oh my God. Yeah, yep. No, actually I am on Getter too. I used to be on it a long time ago. Then I was like, nobody's on this. And then I reactivated my account. You can find me by Salty Texas C. So that being said, gentlemen, we have a great deal to talk about. Mike, is there somewhere in that long list of wonderful things that we talked about that you think we should start?
Well, we can, I suppose, talk about the latest Twitter post by one of these people that is one of the blue check mark types. His name is, let me see if I can find it here, Matt Ramos. and he indicated that he's really super excited that we have the first Hispanic hero, America Chavez, which I thought was quite interesting. And now I was following the Twitter thread because, give credit where credit's due. I discovered this whole thing by browsing into Bounding into Comics. Their website is, one of my favorite places to go hang out. So over there, I saw his Twitter post as well, and that was talking about the various different quotes. And they really tore this guy up, talking about, all these other Hispanics, the heroes in the Marvel universe, but then you have to say, well, it's really the Marvel Cinematic Universe we're talking about, and how she can't be Hispanic because she's actually an alien. She's from another, maybe multiple dimension, different world, different everything. So it just goes on and on against this guy. Would you like me to share the Twitter thread on this? Would you like to see this?
I would. 1 second, please. I want to shout out Paul Wolfley, who is the first super chat of the evening. Hail, good sir. Thank you for the 5 simoleons. He said, Wheel of Time sucked, but brought us together, forming a new unit in the fighting the culture war. Every unit needs a name. It is fascinating because I actually just set up channel memberships. I have hesitated because I wanted to have a conversation very much like Paul Wolfley brings up. What can we call ourselves here? I came up with a couple of ideas, but in the chat, toss things out. We'll debate them. And then probably when I drop my last, I thought was going to be my last Wheel of Time Season 1 review, I was wrong. Part 3 drops tomorrow of Episode 8. But hail, Paul Wolfley. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means the world to me. I am going to go ahead and share your source. Hold on 1 second.
3-part final episode review. That is special. I couldn't do it. Oh, man. I had to just get it one and done and be over with it so I can try to wash it from my mind. I started listening to Wheel of Time on audiobook. So that I can
the Rosamund Pike version, right?
No.
You're dropping spoilers. We will get into that, and we're not trying to be clever, chat. What Nathan dropped on us puts what we just saw for Season 1 Wheel of Time in a completely different context. We will get to it after we get through some Marvel news. We're not trying to bury the lead, but this is kind of where we wanted things to go. And then we are going
Wheel of Time was not our primary motivation for tonight's stream, so we just...
No. I wanted to start out with some Marvel news. Then we wanted to talk about Lord of the Rings news, which we have a bunch of. But I think this is important, so Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, I found this by following a Twitter thread by Bounding into Comics. I say a lot of ums a lot. Okay, so anyways, the second most powerful comic hero, Marvel Miss America, aka America Chavez, makes America so unique is that she was raised outside time and reality. So, she can't actually be Hispanic in the fact that she's not from Earth. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But what they're talking about is the actor, of course. But, they just got torn up. This guy got tore up by the responses. Just going through here. Let me see here. Maybe we have to go back up here. Hold on a second. So
I'm gonna shout out Brett Rose. He gave us a $5 super chat. Brett, it is so awesome to see you again. Thank you for being here. He is supporting the cause. Means the world to us. Hail, Brett Rose.
I might have to skip down quite a bit because there's a whole bunch of new stuff that's got posted in this guy's thread since then. So,
well, I actually did a video on this, Mike. When I was on the road, so 3 or 4 days ago, talking about America Chavez. Marvel dropped a description of what her powers were going to be and what her character was going to be doing in the new Doctor Strange movie. Spoiler alert. I know this is going to shock everyone in the chat, but there's a really good chance this 14-year-old girl who is an out lesbian is going to outdo Doctor Strange. Doesn't that subvert your expectations?
Not anymore, it doesn't. That's kind of my expectation now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robert Gonzalez says, wasn't Echo and Hawkeye also Hispanic? Salma Hayek in Eternals, she's not the first. And you would get things like, well, yeah, but she's not Hispanic, or she's not, like, this is the guy's response. This is Salma, oh my God. Salma Hayek's like nickname, I guess, isn't Hispanic. Then you got some more responses. This character is alien, therefore not either. Now you have, this tweet has been deleted by author. This tweet has been deleted by author. This guy's now going through and trying to clean up all his stuff.
Run away. The internet does not like your
Zaldina has been in the MCU since 2014. Gamora is an alien, because that's the name of the actor. Gamora is an alien. Excuse me, but so is America Chavez, right? You see where this guy is he just made this statement, and it's just been torn apart. It is so funny.
Marvel Phase 4. I actually I came up with a graphic, and I wanted to save it for one of my videos, and I don't know if I can pull it up, but I sent it to you, Mike. It was the checklist of Marvel Phase 4 destruction.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. So I will try and work and pull that up. But 1 second, I want to do a shout out. We have a super chat from Al Dan in Australia. Good evening, good morning, depending on how things are there. He says, lads, have you read through the OG script for episode 1 that hit the net yesterday?
Oh, we have.
Al Dan, yes, we did. And we are going to get to it. And there, again, as I mentioned, there was a whole lot of things said before the stream started that if we would have said them live, I would no longer have a channel. But we will do our best to accurately reflect our true feelings on what the original script was. Spoiler alert.
You'd have to open up an OnlyFans account.
That's right. Dude, that is not an overstatement. So no, thank you, Eldan. Love having you in the stream. It's great to see everybody here. We've got 37 people in the chat. Thank you so much for showing up.
Yes, very cool. Very cool.
Hey, salty private chat.
Oh, yeah. I also want to shout out Phoenix Fire. I boomered a couple things last week, and I want to apologize for that. We got a $10 super chat from Phoenix Fire 108 last week. I actually have your super chat pulled up. Let me bounce around in my boomer way because I have 2 different browsers open. So this came from Phoenix Fire 108. Hail. He said, or she said, or whatever your thing is. Rafe's... I almost walked into
canceled.
it.
You're canceled.
I know. I'm canceled. Rafe's answer is asinine. The Wheel of Time fan base is already time tested. We've been loyal for decades. The SJWs will never carry the day. They're only in to ideology. I sub to you guys early. Wash the spears. Hail Phoenix Fire. The context for that comment was us reviewing an interview that Rafe Judkins gave to someone from, what was it, Dragon Mount, I believe, where he said they did not make the show for people who love the books and knew the whole series. They made the show for an audience that had never seen a fantasy show before, or maybe one that had bought the book, The Eye of the World, maybe read it like partly and put it down. Which, think about that. They made this $80 million adaptation of Wheel of Time to not make it for people who loved the books. I will dovetail that into the other super chat we got. Episode 1 was a work of, Skinamax empowered, Skinamax MA empowered whammon worship. Let's just say that. I also have another super chat. I'm going to jump on here. Which one? Okay, I think it was from Taker 610. When Moiraine and Suwan shacked up, all I could think was, fucking scissoring. If you watch Heel versus Babyface, you'll understand. Oh, I understand. fucking scissoring. Yeah, that's what I thought too. We have another super chat for $2 from Taker6110. Landrin square head turned many off in episode 1. You are not wrong. That's a lantern jaw. That is a very handsome woman. All right, I think I'm caught up on super chats.
I want to cut in and toss to how Rafe wrote a show that he said was not for book readers, but if you didn't read the books, there's no way you could figure out what was happening on that show. And the defenders always call back to, well, if you read the books, you'll understand it. But so like he has to pick one. It can't be both. Right now, it's neither.
I think there's a term for that, and that's called being full of shit, but I could be wrong.
Yes.
What do you think, Nathan? What's your assessment on that whole kerfuffle?
Well, it's a bunch of guys, gals talking out of both ends of their face and not continuing to think about the context in which they're discussing things. It's whatever is the last 40 characters they spouted out of their mouth, and it's word salad all over the place, and nothing is going to make sense because they don't care for it to make sense. They just want the praise. They want the thumbs up. They want the likes. And as long as they've got their robots out there hitting the like buttons, then the reality of who's watching it doesn't matter to them. That's just the plain fact of the matter. How they treat the fan base of the book fan base is completely indicative of their behavior.
Well said.
I'm not laughing at you guys. I was just laughing at the emoji that it's either Mama or Moma B sent. It is a roll of toilet paper. Now, considering what we got for episode 1, you could view it one way. Considering what the real script was that we reviewed, you could view it another. So a very apt emoji from Moma B. And Moma B, if it's Mama B, do it phonetically. I am a boomer. I need help wherever I can. So thank you. Okay. That brings us to another chat. One more quick from Fire 108. He says, "Get it right, bigot." Fair.
Bigot is my favorite word now. It's my new favorite word. I love bigot.
I agree. I that and misogynist, incel, all those words no one has ever, well, they hadn't called me in about 30 years, but they're calling me again. So
it's
all right,
be
Mike,
my new name tag.
Mike, didn't mean to jump all over. Where do we want to go next?
We could stick with some Marvel stuff. This is another one that I found on Bounding Into Comics. It's Wakanda Forever here. If you want to share the screen, we could just read this real quick here. It was from a couple days back, and let me make sure that the screen, we'll do 150 zoomed in so that we can all read it together.
Perfect.
And yeah, so we remember her from Black Panther, and help me with the pronunciation of words like this, but I don't know how you pronounce that.
Which one?
We have the
Okoye.
Okoye. Okay.
Okoye. Yeah.
Okay. Okoye. They're going to make her now they're going to put her as a lesbian relationship with fellow member Dora. Again, I don't Mahale, whatever. I just want to say it's really cool that they have the Death Star battle plans there. That's really nice. But
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't. That's for damn sure. And Boba Fett, we know he doesn't have it either. Yeah.
And it's just the only point I want to bring up is that they keep going back and finding characters and deciding that we need more representation. So instead of introducing new characters with different different genders, different sexual orientations, different whatever, they're just converting existing characters. And I just find that odd.
And why not do that with the bald black woman? That's not cliche at all.
Yeah. So, another sexuality swap. But again, like this, it's like, why do that? I mean, why can't we come up with some new characters, new material, that kind of thing?
I have an
don't
idea.
know.
I have an idea to subvert our expectations. Now, this is out there, guys. I don't expect anybody to support this. I've been called a lunatic, but hear me out on this one. What if we just had a character that was accurate to the comic books, that acted heroically, and looked like the character we all knew and loved? Is that too crazy? I think that's probably crazy, right?
You're too far gone. Yeah, you can't do that now. Not in 2022.
Oh my God, I'm nuts. I know, it's what a bizarre concept. I mean, it's not like there's any examples of that succeeding. Like, oh, what was that movie? It's a little one, just made a little bit of money. Spider-Man,
Okay.
Iron Man, Captain America. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm wrong. Maybe I got wrong. Think what can
No,
I say?
I don't think the new Spider-Man movie is going to do very well. I think it's going to be a bust. I don't know.
Well, you know why? Because there's not enough representation in it. It's not accessible enough to people. It doesn't have enough message or narrative in it. So therefore, modern audiences are going to reject it.
It's going to be very lucky if it breaks $3 billion. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a stretch. That's a disaster. That's a disaster.
When did we reach the point exactly where if someone doesn't look just like you, you can't identify with them? I don't understand that. And does that mean I can't identify with someone if they don't look like me? I'm not allowed to? It's not okay? It's crazy.
I first heard all this, and this is where I dox myself. I heard about this 30 years ago when I was in college in 1991. I saw all of this, and it was called critical theory back then. And it was based on a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of crazy books, and all of the same arguments and all of the same intersectional feminism that is now being crammed down our throats. I saw and got screamed at in my face as a 21-year-old guy in the late stages of Ronald Reagan's America. And I thought, there's no way this is ever going to work. Well, here we are, and someone has financed the fact that it is everywhere. I can't explain it.
Well, we could explain it, but we might get canceled for doing that.
Right. We might get disappeared, but yeah. So, yeah, Mike, this is not the first time the Wakanda, the Black Panther sequel has come up. Obviously, with the loss of the actor who played the original Black Panther, I thought he was a great actor in general. It's, of course, a loss. But there seems to be a lot of weird, kerfuffly, not good news coming out of this production. And if it's one thing, in my opinion, we've seen from Disney where there starts to be more than just smoke, there tends to be a freaking conflagration. You look at Solo, look at some of the other productions that we've got going on, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, in Marvel, let's look at what we got. We have Black Widow, failure. Legends of Shang-Chi and the something woke rings, barely made a little bit of bank. Now here we are, and it's like, okay, they've got probably the most diverse, organic thing they could work with. I don't understand. And anyone on this chat, tell me, why do you think this thing is a dumpster fire? This seems like it would be a woke, intersectional representation slam dunk.
I want to point out one comment before we get too far off of it, but I love this one where he says, "Make America." TRW says, "Make America the '80s again." That's a great T-shirt.
I wake up every day, and I'll even take the mid '90s when there was a down economy, and I used to be an unlicensed teacher in New England, and I lived off of $6.85 an hour teaching outside of a metropolitan area. I'll just say that, and I would go back to that over what we got now.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to high school in the era where everyone was dressed up as Don Johnson from Miami Vice. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in going and doing that again.
I would do it.
The new wave style, the haircuts and all that. Nah, I'm gonna pass.
I was a skater kid.
I regret it all.
I was a skater kid. I played Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was into Dungeons and Dragons.
Although I love the music, right? The music was the greatest. So the 80s music is my favorite. We were talking about Spider-Man basically being, a crap movie that's never going to make any money. So I brought something up that proves my point. If you guys want to throw that up. Of course, I'm being sarcastic there, chat.
1 second. I am doing triple duty over here, Mike. So
That's
hold
right.
on un momente. Let me see. Restream is not a... I'm going to bounce to the private chat. We've got a $5 Ruple. Is that Ruple? Kyle, Zax?
I have no idea what that is.
What
No
was it?
clue.
What was there anything? Bob? Hey, you know what? So Sipu Pires, that could be a Romanian. It's interesting. I have family there. So $5. Hail to you. Thank you for showing up to the chat. It says, don't forget the DCEU all-female Justice League bull hockey. No. We will get there. It's just there's so much to cover. There really is. And in the meantime, we've got every burner on this stove of this chat. We have people chomping at the bit to talk about things, and we will do our best to cover all of them. In the meantime, CPU Pires, if I'm murdering your name, spell it phonetically because I'm just a dumb yank, and I will do my best to represent your name. Thank you for the support.
Yep. Very, very cool.
Go ahead, Mike.
Getting that monetization is really awesome. Very, very happy for you. So Spider-Man has made more than all of those ones that you mentioned just a minute ago, and I wanted to bring it up sooner, but the Eternals, the 10 Rings, what were the ones that I have to go back to my notes here. Let's see here. Shang-Chi, Legend of 10 Rings, Eternals, and yeah. Well, anyways, the whole point was that they were complaining that it was due to the lockdowns, due to COVID, due to all of these things that was causing people to stay home and not go to the movies and actually watch any shows. So when they released Spider-Man and it became a massive hit, breaking records, there's no excuse for them to fall back on.
They're going to learn the wrong lessons, though.
Yeah.
And other YouTubers have said that, but they're going to view this the wrong way, and they're going to have some confirmation bias and not actually take away what they should learn. What do you guys think, Kyle?
Well, I think their agenda with that is, I look at this kind of like it's like the football team in your local schools or in your colleges. They're the ones that help support all the rest of the athletic programs. So Spider-Man's going to be their big moneymaker, and it's going to subsidize all the rest of their woke stuff. I think that's what they're looking at this as.
Yeah, I think they're treating it like it's McDonald's for the masses, and people will go and buy it, and then they can service their specialty foods on the side, and this can pay for those.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that we're seeing is the failure of the algorithm that is driving the decision in creating narratives. It is not working. It works great in an abstract way, but this audiences are rejecting it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, if I'm going to go to the movies and do all the hassle wearing a mask in the movie theater, and I don't know if they do temperature checks when you go in certain places, or if they're asking for vaccine passports and all that. I don't know what kind of things that people have to go through to go to the movies these days. But let's say that is the case and it's a hassle. I have to really want to see that movie if I'm going to go and watch it. You know, and Eternals, I didn't give a crap about. Legend of the 10 Rings, I didn't give a crap about. And it goes on. I mean, there's not any movies that I would actually go to see right now except the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. I would go see that. And the only reason I haven't yet is because it's so busy and I'm waiting for it to calm down a little bit.
I want to shout out Whisker Fisherman TV. He or she is watching us live, I believe, on Twitter right now. So hail to you. We are simulcasting across platforms.
Look at us.
Yeah, it almost looks like we know what we're doing, but
no. Yep.
First time I'm on Twitter.
So thanks to the chat for putting up with us. We'll get there.
We're getting there. I have a cool opening though. Mike, what else?
True.
Mike, what else do you want to talk about? Or Nathan? We had Nathan, Man of Manetheren on, and I don't know if you have any of the things pulled up from your original video, if you want to share them or can share them regarding the back score for Rotten Tomatoes. If you need some time to pull that together, Mike has plenty of other information. Mike, what else is on your short list that you want to cover tonight?
All right, we could cover this one, which I think is kind of an interesting story here. Disney is losing an insane amount of money from Black Widow with piracy. So people are downloading the movie instead of paying to see the movie. And, I have a theory that has no evidence base at all, but it's people don't want to click that button on their Disney Plus to say, yes, I want to see this. Or they don't want to go to the movies to see it. They don't want to be associated with it. They know that it's silly. They know that it's not any good. But there's something about, I'm going to say it, hot girls in tight leather doing kung fu fighting that they're like, you know what? If I can download it from certain nefarious piracy websites, I will. And I think that is why people are skipping it in the theater. They're skipping it if it's even on Disney Plus right now, which I think it is, right? They're just not clicking that button, or they're not paying the money. And they're like, I don't want anyone to be I don't want to be seen with this movie. I don't want anyone to know I've seen it. But it's like that guilty pleasure where they're like, you know what? Heck, all I have to do is click this little button here, and it downloads in like 20 minutes, and I can watch it. And I think that's why.
Honestly, if this were $3.99 in Redbox and I was out of things to watch, I still wouldn't buy it. I have no interest in this movie. And call me simple, but Natasha, Black Widow, died. She's dead. She's really dead. Florence Pugh or Poog or whatever the heck it is, I don't really have any interest in her character. And also from the snippets I have seen of what she did in Hawkeye, I really have no interest in having Black Widow mark to the Kmart version of Natasha. Go ahead.
I can add to that too. I want to ask the chat actually as well. Give me a 1 if you only watch this stuff because we're going to talk about it after and you want context. That's why I watch it. That's why I watched Black Widow. I didn't want to watch Black Widow, but I knew Az was going to talk about Black Widow, so I want to know what he was talking about. And forgive my Canadian about.
Yeah, no, I think I watched it, but when I watched it, it was with my remote, and I was fast forwarding a lot. So I really didn't get much of the story.
Do better, Disney.
Do better.
Just like your not Captain America said in your Disney Plus show. God,
I think I got up out of my chair and walked away when she was falling through the sky. That took, I don't know, like 10 minutes to go, like not even very far, 10,000 feet. And she kept like bouncing from thing to thing and launching off and grabbing onto. And I was just like, okay, I can't do, I know this is just unbearable. And I went and found something to drink, talked to the dog for a while, came back and it was over. And I got to watch whatever was left. But
what's crazy is there was a time when all of us were very interested in watching bouncing things in Black Widow, especially in Iron Man. And now that male gaze is so terrible and so toxic that we've gotten this.
And how do you not give us Budapest?
I will never understand that. We will never get Budapest. Add it to the list, and if someone else has said this, that's one of those top 10 recent entertainment misses. The list is getting longer and longer, but with Natasha, if we would have gotten Hawkeye, God, a real Hawkeye in the real costume, and Natasha, God, I would have saw that in the theater. I would have bought it on Blu-ray. I would have bought the action figures. I would have fanboyed in a most obnoxious and embarrassing way if it was good. I just want to say that. What do you guys think?
Hot toys.
You're like Dark
Is
Helmet
that-
playing with them, right?
No, just subtly plugging as his alternate channel.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't actually collect anything, so I have to really love it to collect it.
I would go back and watch that now, even if they did it. They pretended the first one didn't happen, and they went back and gave us that story of Budapest. I would go watch it right now. I still want to see it.
I agree. Especially if they'd set it, say, in the late 90s.
Oh yeah,
It would have, perfect, right? Because the Eastern Europe, and I was in Eastern Europe traveling a bit in the late 90s. It was the Wild West. You could have done so much with that. It would have been crazy. We got a comment from Son of Jockster. Thanks for showing up. I would love to reach out to you to help mod the channel or wrench the channel, sir. Hit me on Twitter if you want. He says, I watch Batman and Star Trek Discovery vicariously through YouTubers who roast the shows. Mm-hmm. That is how I could not imagine watching Batwoman. Just hearing Az talk about it, I've had to literally stop because I actually got into the fetal position at one point where some of the things he was describing, it's literally like they're not even trying. It's really like they're only making the worst possible thing that they can to hurt the audience because they hate us so much. And as far as Star Trek Discovery, in full disclosure, I watched the very first season, the very first episode for under 5 minutes. And I walked away heartbroken. I after that, I watched reviews by Nerderotic, others, and I was like, you took Jean-Luc Picard and you did this to him. So I'm in the same boat, Son of Jockster. Absolutely.
Speaking of Jean-Luc Picard, this is an interesting question, and chat, please play along. I would like to get your opinions as well. What characters from the Marvel universe, doesn't even have to be the Marvel Cinematic, just the Marvel universe, would you like to see in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie? What characters would you like to see pop up? Anybody?
I can't get enough America Chavez, right? We love her, don't we? Yeah.
That's what I'm being told.
Did you guys see that article? And it wasn't in Abounding in the Comics. I think I actually found it on Cosmic Book News. Now, I'm not a shill for anybody. I just want to say, when I go look for things that I believe to a certain extent, I go to Cosmic Book News. That is where I sourced my own America Chavez video that I dropped a couple days ago. The long and the short of it is, like I said, there's a complete character description. The big takeaways from this is that this is a 14 or 15-year-old girl who they prominently describe as an out lesbian. And I'm like, she is a child. I'm not sure why America Chavez needs to be a child and have these labels put on them. I would think there could be a very capable 20-something mature woman who could make that determination and then be represented that way. But I don't think you should sexualize children in any way at all. Am I crazy?
It's legalized pedophilia.
You know what? I first of all, I agree with that. But secondly, since when did it become so important that someone's sexual preference was involved in a superhero story? Like, why is that front and center?
Because it was at Marvel Comics and DC Comics for what, the last 8-10 years?
And yeah, I know you're right, but it's worked so well.
Yeah.
Add it to the list. You know what else worked really well? Ready for it? Communism. That was just that worked great, didn't it? I mean, if you discount the broken countries, the mass murder graves, it was great. It's just nobody's done it right before, right?
That's right. Yeah. There's somebody out there in Hollywood who knows how to do it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Always
David
is.
Austin. Sorry, David Austin says, you're not crazy, you're a boomer. Actually, I'm a Gen Xer, and unlike other YouTubers, I don't crap all over my generation. I understand why those people say it because I've worked with them a long time. However, if you are a millennial or younger, you will never know what it was like as someone who is Gen X to put up with the baby boomers in the workplace. It was terrible, and we just sucked it up and became alcoholics and dealt with it. So anyway, hail David Austin. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I would just say here's a little list here we got going on. We got Billy and Tommy Maximov. These are people that are actually confirmed. And we have Sylvie.
Wait a minute. What is Sylvie doing? Wait, is she going to be in another movie?
Loki, right?
Yeah, she was in the Loki TV show. I just didn't know if she was going to be in the Doctor Strange movie or not.
Yeah, it seems like she will be.
Oh, thank God.
After she sends Loki back to alternative TVA, viewers aren't certain what happens, but she's going to show up. Then we have Loki showing up. So those are the 6. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, where's the other one? See, these are the 6. So
Sylvie's going to be driving a van, and instead of having fuzzy dice, it's going to be Loki's balls hanging off the rearview mirror. Spoiler, I heard that one from Grace Randolph. Take it to the bank. So there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know who I would like. I saw Deadpool's picture down here. I would like to see some X-Men crossover stuff too. I would like to see things like Deadpool come in, and I think that would be cool.
I would too, but I'm so concerned about how they're going to do Deadpool at Disney, and same with the Punisher, how they're going to handle that.
Well, the Punisher's going to use a Nerf gun.
I know.
He's gonna be like the Boba Fett that we're getting on Disney Plus. He's going to be a good-natured Santa Claus-like non-binary individual who probably offers marriage counseling. I think, if I remember correctly, that's how Marvel's going to do the Punisher now.
Marriage counseling and apologies. Those are going to be his specialty.
Yeah, totally. Hey, we got a request to cover some Lord of the Rings stuff, Mike. Let's not bury the lead. Do you have that pulled up?
I don't have any Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm not Lord of the Rings.
Right. You guys vamp. I'm going to try and pull up what I find. I will fire it off to you, Mike. So
okay.
You talk.
All right.
Do you want me to pull that the rating stuff for Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. So where's my screen share? There we go. Where is?
So Nathan's done some digging on the rating systems that they've been using. I believe it's Rotten Tomatoes and how it's rigged, and it's stuff I've never heard of before. It's really cool, so it's worth listening to.
All right, you guys can see that.
No. Corey's got to pull it up. He's got to share it.
Oh, okay.
There he goes.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got the 82% there. That hasn't changed at all. Audience is down to 66%, which is still way too high. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting is this C-score details. And I was curious about that. So when I pull this up, it gives all the information here. And this 82%, 7.25 divided by 10 is not 82%. 49 divided by the 75 ratings that they've got rated fresh here is also not 82%. That's actually, 66%, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really interesting, outside of the fact that the math doesn't add up here, is if we go to top critics, we see the effect that the shills have, the ones that Amazon's paid off to give it good critical ratings.
Yeah.
Top critics drops down to 54%, and that's below their fresh rating of 60%.
That's what blew my mind. And when I came to your video, I watched you do this, and I'm like, there's no sleight of hand here. Like what a Man of Manetheren is showing us you just need to click through and you find out that there appears to be a whole lot of, and I'm using really big air quotes, fortifying of the Amazon property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, even this, the 6.6 out of 10 doesn't add up. This 15 out of 28, that is about 54%. So, I mean, that's actually closer. But regardless of the fact is, with this all critics, because that math doesn't add up, you don't even need to worry about this math. What you do need to consider yourself is the difference between these two ratings, all critics and top critics. And some of the, and I did this on my video. I went through and looked at some of the top critics' comments, like New York Times, Rolling Stone. I don't know. Did it switch over to this other one?
Yes,
or is it still on? Okay. All right. So the whole thing is empty, if expensive calories. You know, that's that was back in November.
And look at the source. Look at the source. Rolling Stone, in my opinion, it is not what it was certainly in the 60s, nor in the 80s. I used to subscribe to the print version of Rolling Stone. It was pretty cool. Now, in my opinion, we've seen some of the horrifying things that magazine has done in reporting news that was not verified very well, in the harm that it's done. So when you're talking about a very let's say left-leaning, questionably sourced media source, Rolling Stone, to come crap on your Amazon $80 million season 1, that tells you something.
Yeah. You know, this one, I went into kind of a death spiral after watching the first episode. That pretty much describes almost every book fan watching this show. Again, and that's back again middle of November, so I guarantee you these people didn't go back and rewatch things. RogerEbert.com. It's hard to get lost in this world when it feels so emotionally distant, so scattered, and so packed with thin plot lines.
Agreed.
You know,
Yeah.
And thick plot lines is even an over exaggeration. Just
very generous with calling the show having a plot.
And this one was, I think, the most convincing one for me with Hollywood Reporter. You know, it felt like I was watching a whiteboard in the writer's room, more the pushing of note cards toward a destination rather than an adventure. You know, that's what the show
I've been
feels like.
saying. That's what I've been saying since episode 1. And I don't know, did they have the variety rating? Because that's when I made
I think they do. I don't know if I captured that one.
Well, when I made my first video on this, I quoted a Variety article. And that is when the internet crazies came after me with the pitchforks and the mace and the pruning shears. And I got ratioed like you would not believe. I was like, oh my God, what am I like? Was that just a terrible video? And then over time, the next video that I did, same thing. Everybody coming out. And it was like, what the hell? What? Nobody wants to hear criticism of this show. And then after about a month after the show had been released, I watched my ratio creep up from like, I was at 38%, just saying what Variety had said. And also the Hollywood Reporter to say, hey, heads up about this show. Well, now all of those videos where people were attacking me and because I wasn't shilling are now up to about 80-90%. So karma is a mofo. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Did you find anything for us on Wheel of Time? Or not, I'm sorry, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I sent it to you in Twitter. I sent it to our chat that we had. I can also drop it in our private chat. Hold on, I have too many sources of information flying around here. Let me drop it in private.
Yeah, no, I could pull up the. Let me see here. There we go.
Yep.
Down here.
It's in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. I could pull that page up, and then you just tell me what you want me to. If you scroll in or.
If you want to zoom in, just
I'll zoom in quite a bit.
Yeah, perfect. Go. So this is Tech Radar, and what's fascinating, and the date on this is
the 1st.
This is within a few days. So this is not old recycled information. So this comes to us from Tech Radar. go ahead and scroll down, and if you want, guys, I can read it because I have it open on my page, and you guys can respond to it if you want. So you leave it up there. Lord of the Rings on Amazon Prime, release date, cast, plot, and what we know so far. Amazon's Lord of the Rings character list grows larger. So this, of course, is an article from the first, published by Tom Power. I want to give credit where credit is due. So Amazon's Lord of the Rings series is not out for another 9 months yet. Have we heard otherwise? I have heard that it is delayed yet again. The show was supposed to drop in September, October of this year. Has anybody heard any different? I thought it was going to be delayed till 2023.
I have not heard anything. One thing I heard was there was a rumor that it might be at the same time as season 2 of Wheel of Time. I heard that briefly. I don't know if that rumor pans out, but I did hear that rumor.
If that's the case, then I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna have a breakdown. I'm just fill out my will now.
We can't handle that.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that it's been delayed because they're doing reshoots? And if the answer to that question is yes, are they doing reshoots because of what happened on Wheel of Time? In other words, they're seeing what failed, and they're like, "Oh shit, we can't make those mistakes again. We can't go down that road. Let's do some reshoots."
Nathan, Kyle, you guys go first because I want to bring up another source, and I have heard some things, and I don't just want to pull things out of my bunghole like a certain showrunner does of Wheel of Time. So
I want to first read Brett Rose's comment about they will remake Titanic next. It will be a painting of a penis this time, and the chick will save the ship by melting the iceberg with all their stunning bravery. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hail to you. I'm putting that on screen because I'd say that's probably greater literary skill than we saw in 8 episodes of Amazon's Wheel of Time. Thank you.
Just as long as Rose isn't hanging onto the penis at the end and not allowing Jack to
Oh my God. And Salty was the first vid I found being real on this dumpster fire. I didn't realize it was going to be such a rare commodity to have taste in a soul and not lie to people. But then again, I'm not a shill in the media. So, Hale, thank you for that comment.
I'm personally happy if they push back Lord of the Rings, the show. Push it back forever. Push it back another 10, 15 years until there's new management in place or something. There's no reason to do this, and please don't put it back to back with Wheel of Time. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
And do you know how many episodes it's going to be, have they said?
Yeah, I'm looking at that data right now. So here's what we know. Lord of the Rings season 1 episodes will be dropped weekly, which I think is a good idea. And I'm being selfish because as a content creator, that means I have some time to put things together. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say a lot of people are going to be white knighting for this production. A lot of them. And I think our job as being objective people who, number one, love the Lord of the Rings from a literary point of view, and then number 2, love the movies. And number 3 are, say, some of us are over the age of, let's say, I don't want to be ageist, but let's say we've got a couple miles on our odometer. So when we think about Lord of the Rings, it's more than just Peter Jackson's movies, which are fantastic, but our association with them goes back to, and I talked about it on our last live stream, being a nerdy kid in the 70s and 80s. It wasn't easy. It wasn't, it was not a glamorous thing. You got your ass kicked for carrying around Dungeons and Dragons. You did. It was brutal. And some of us took a lot of comfort in the works of Tolkien, as well as David Eddings, Margaret Weiss, Terry Brooks. And so these things are more than just a commodity to be abused for ideological purposes. So I will get off my soapbox. Lord of the Rings episodes, to answer your question, Kyle, filming officially wrapped on Tuesday, August 3rd. Do I believe that? No. What about you guys? Do you think reshoots are underway? And if so, why?
I think reshoots. Why? And I think they're changing some of what they tried to do with Wheel of Time and fell flat and was rejected and people hate. They were putting also into Lord of the Rings, and then they go, oh no, what are we getting ourselves into? We're going to have another, because they know how many people watch Wheel of Time. They have the actual real numbers, and they just don't want the Lord of the Rings series to fall flat as well. They don't want it to die the same death. They don't want the bad ratings. And so if there's certain scenes that they try to, let's say, get under the radar of the fans and not get attacked for it, and then they ended up getting attacked for it, they're just maybe they've learned a little bit. And I think that they're doing reshoots, changing some of that.
Mike, you're such an optimist. Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was talking on a muted mic.
That's okay.
Did that article say when the original release date was supposed to be?
Yes.
'Cause I can't remember if there was an original one.
Well, here's the thing. These dates have moved so many times. I remember 2 years ago the dates we were getting, but then again, there were people involved from a directorial management position that they air quotes moved on. So what we know is that according to Amazon, official narrative is that filming wrapped August 3rd of 2021. However, they are saying there's a possibility that pickups, reshoots may be required depending on how specific episodes are edited. So, however, though, what this article says is that the show's cast and crew split from New Zealand after being trapped there for a long time. Now, no disrespect to New Zealand. It's a beautiful place that I would love to go see. I will not set foot there considering what's going on over there ever again unless it changes. But speaking of New Zealand, season 2 is not going to be filmed in there. They're going to start filming season 2 in the UK, which I find really interesting, and I have a theory as to that. But Kyle, I didn't allow you to answer. What do you think are reshoots going on?
I think there are reshoots going on, and just to piggyback on what you said, I think they left New Zealand because they didn't give them the tax breaks they wanted, and so they moved it somewhere else. So it's not for production purposes; it's for money purposes, which is a giant mistake on their part, I think. So I think there's reshoots, and I think that if there weren't going to be major reshoots, there will be now, because I have to say I was surprised in a positive way by some of the bigger reviewers of Wheel of Time. By the end, even they were saying, "Well, this is garbage" by the last episode. So it's a majority now who recognize that first season was bad, especially the finale.
Well, I think the bags of money. The bags of money stopped showing up. Metaphorically, of course, in my opinion. I want to shout out Punk Waddle. That this is an individual who's always on my premieres, who attends the live streams. I love the fact that I'm getting to know you people. I love the fact that you guys are showing up and we're building this community organically. We're not always going to agree, but I love the fact we can have these true free conversations as fans, nerds, and spend this time together, especially after the last 2 years. So hail Punk Waddle.
Even if someone is just in the chat mostly, I want to say that it's cool that I'm seeing some of the same people every week now and getting to know the names, and it's been fun.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah, and I hinted at it earlier in the live stream. I have set up channel memberships. I struggle with that because I don't think I'm important enough where people would subsidize me on a monthly basis. But if you're into it and you want to do it, I will post and put some of that information out. I'm looking for potential names. I was going with TSC's Salty AV Club, but that seems a little clumsy. So if any of you wordsmith creative rascals out there in the interwebs have cool ideas, DM me on Twitter or Getter, or just drop something in the chat. And where I'm going with that is part 3 of my episode 8 review, which is turning into the 10 commandments of Wheel of Time reviews, is dropping tomorrow. In the video, once you see the third piece of my review, you will understand why I broke it up. But if you have great names for a potential membership for the channel, please to tell me there. So,
did you hear that they're giving Isildur and a sister? And what do you think about that?
You guys talk about it, because I'm in shock. I also have heard a lot of things about hobbits where in this time period they don't belong there.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were giving him a sister.
Yeah, it was just posted on Twitter just a little bit before we started this. I don't know if I could find it, but yeah, I heard that they
That's
are
because
actually
according to
doing
everybody else, Tolkien did a real disservice to women or something. By
You
not,
know what's going to happen. I mean, you know what's going to happen, just like we saw in Wheel of Time. And Nathan is 100% correct. Just like Egelmar, and I know I'm not saying the name right from the books. This is just how I've always said it in my head as a reader. But his sister was breaking his balls like it was going out of style.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
It was horrible. I mean, all the screen caps that I have, and I wasn't even trying, are her having this, like she's eating a lemon, and she just looks like she's criminally insane the way she's castigating him. I would anticipate much of the same intersectional feminist tropes that we had to endure in Wheel of Time are going to be cut and pasted, sadly, into the beautiful works of fiction of Tolkien. Now, obviously, they can do that because the Silmarillion, in a lot of the age that we're talking about, it's like reading a history book. There's no dialogue. All of it is up for interpretation. That's the problem with this. And based upon when you give current year creatives interpretive space, it's going to be neo-Marxist. It's going to be anti-capitalist. It's going to be everything that someone like myself, and I think a lot of people on this stream, don't like. You guys tell me what you think. I need to step away for 30 seconds. You guys vamp.
Well, I want to say, holy shit, Daniel, thank you for that super chat. That's crazy. I'm going to read it out. Amazon's fake Wheel of Time is a litmus test for every reviewer and influencer. Anyone who claims to love the books and see anything good in this show either doesn't understand the books or is helping push an agenda. Discovering your channel has been a blessing. So that's obviously not for me. That's for Salty, but I read it anyway. Thank you, Daniel. That's awesome. And that's a very true statement. Very true. That's how I found this channel too. Nobody was telling the truth except for these guys, Mike, Salty, a couple others, and they were taking shit for it nonstop. They were getting beaten up in the chat. Their comments were full of people hating them, but they stuck to what was true. And in the end, here they are. I think that's been great.
Absolutely. We don't have the
holy cow,
stream.
Mike, let me stop.
I read it already.
No, I'm on my Bluetooth headset. Daniel, wow. Every super chat means something to me. This is the biggest super chat I have ever gotten in my life. It means a lot to me because people don't know how much work it takes to put together videos. So, my God, it means just when people show up to the premieres, it means something to me. But thank you. I do this for the love of genre, of the books, of the things that we love, and I'm honored by your super chat, Daniel. Amazon's take, and I know you read it, but I want to honor this. So Amazon's fake Wheel of Time is a litmus test for every reviewer and influencer. Anyone who claims to love the books and see anything good in this show either doesn't understand the books or is helping push agenda. Discovering your channel has been a blessing. Well, hail to you, hail to the chat, hail to my guests. Finding all of you has been a blessing for me as well, whether you super chat or not. This is wonderful. Thank you, Daniel. God bless you. Thank you.
Do you mind if I tell your story quickly?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I noticed Mike and Salty, and Salty was just right around 100 subs, and he was eating shit from fans everywhere. And Mike was a little bit even lower than that. In this short period of time, because people have gotten together, gotten behind these guys, now they have a much bigger platform, and they're telling the truth. And they've we're forming, all of us are forming a kind of a new community. I think it's been great, and I'm very happy and proud to be a part of it. And I want to thank everyone for allowing me to be in on this.
Zach, I've said it
100%.
before. I've said it before, and Mike, I'll let you talk. I swear to God. But Zach reached out to me. He volunteered. Kyle volunteered to help me figure things out. I didn't know who this cat was, but Zach is good people, just helping me out, figuring things out so I don't look like a total boomer, just like 75% boomer. And then, of course, Mike just reached out to me. We started talking on Twitter, and now we've been live streaming for a month. So, man, we're just people telling what we think and sharing our love with people like you. So thank you.
And any of you could do the same thing.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Very true.
All your laptops have webcams and microphones and all that. Just just do it.
I have a $40 mic that I used for most of my episodes. For Christmas, I got a Blue Yeti. But even right now, because the Blue Yeti it's a little tweaky, I'm still using the $40 mic to record a lot of my episodes because I like the tone of it. So this doesn't require some monumental investment. What it does require
the
is
Blue
your time.
Yetis are not the way to go. Everybody starts off there thinking that it'll get the job done, and it's better than your built-in mic on your laptop. But yeah,
Whiskey Fisherman asks, "How do you super chat?" I'm not sure how you're watching this. I think it looks like you are on Twitter watching this because I'm simulcasting across multiple media. If you come into YouTube, you can super chat. I've been trying to set up other things that other people have, but I only have so many hours.
Yeah, I think it's like a dollar icon, and then you click on that, and then you have a choice between like donate, super chat, send whatever. I don't know what it is. My super chat's never been read, so I stopped doing it.
I want to shout out Brian Martin. He had a recommendation for you on the group name, Texas Salty Balls.
I don't think Mama Susan's gonna let that one fly, but I appreciate the creativity. I think that might look really good on a T-shirt, though. So.
Corey, did you have anything else you want to talk about from this page I have open, or?
Yeah. Sorry, we were just wandering through.
I feel like it's just been sitting there for so long. People have memorized this entire page.
It has. So Variety, who I have found to be, you can find some really good information there. Variety indicated that principal photography would start in the UK later this year in 2020. So that means we're looking at season 2 of Lord of the Rings probably coming out in late 2023, early 2024. We also know that they're going to be shooting at Bovingdon Airfield and in Berkshire and Hetheringfordshire, and that's where the location shoots, the outdoor stuff is going to be happening in the UK. So we know that. As far as casting, let's get into this. So right now, what we know is there are at least 40 actors that are named cast in this Lord of the Rings adaptation, but we don't have any confirmation as to who they're playing. We just know they're on the tear sheet. So that being said, there are some rumors, and there are some more than rumors that we will get into here. So if we scroll down, Mike, we'll look at Variety, and some of these names I can't say. If you think that I can't say the Wheel of Time names, wait until some of these deep lore Tolkien names, all right? Okay. We've got you can scroll down, Mike. It's according to Variety. We've got Saint Maud has been cast. There was an actress.
Why am I not seeing where you're looking for here?
It's all the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah, okay. It's all the way down. So what it is
there we go.
This is a Welsh name, and I'm not good with Welsh names, but I do like Welsh people from Wales of the female persuasion. So Morfrid Clark has been cast as Gladriel. So in this series, in Amazon's version of the Second Age, Gladriel will be younger, obviously, than what her counterpart, Cate Blanchett, was in the Hobbit movies, and then, of course, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Now, another role that people seem to be fairly certain of is of Simon Merrill's. According to the actor's biography page in his management site, they're saying he's going to be an original character made by Amazon called Trevin. You will know Simon Merrills from his work on Good Omens if you are a fan of Terry Pratchett. We also have Lenny Henry, who was on Broadchurch, as well as Doctor Who. He has been confirmed to be playing a Harfoot. Who and what are Harfoots? Come on, guys. Shout it out in the chat. We are looking at hobbits. Hobbits in this age who don't belong in the second age. And I don't care.
They don't.
There's literally... I can't have an aneurysm from two fantasy.
But hobbits are all that's all people know. Hobbits. Lord of the Rings. What do you know about Lord of the Rings? Hobbits. Oh, and a ring, and an eye of fire. That's what I. Oh, and there's a tree that talks. Right, and so hobbits. You have to have hobbits in your Lord of the Rings.
Well, and don't forget about Hogwarts. Hogwarts was in Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's literally what we're dealing with here. I mean, I don't have words, and I'm gonna try and remain zen on this. But so we've got Harfoots, we've got this Lenny Henry, who was in Doctor Who in Broadchurch. I actually like Broadchurch, but he's going to be playing one of 3 different distinct breeds of hobbits in the second age. Now, we can source that back to BBC Sounds interview. Of course, we don't know his name. Now, there are other rumors. I don't like to build a channel on hearsay and making crap up. But there is a character an actor who played the young Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. He replaced Will Poulter as Beldor. That character's name is Robert Arameo, and he will be one of this adaptation's main heroes, according to Deadline. Also, GQ magazine, Poulter, this guy who originally was set to play Beldor, said, as an actor, you're very used to things not going your way and having to adapt accordingly. I'm more used to things not going my way, so I just had to shake off losing this role. This is one of those cases where I think all of us would love to know why they kicked Will Poulter out, if this was a conflict or if this was a creative difference. Hollywood Reporter has also reported that Markella Kavanaugh, who is in The Cry, had signed on to play a character called Tira. Deadline also suggested that Lloyd Owen, who was in Monarch of the Glen, that was a pretty decent show, would portray Loda. So we're starting to get names here, and I think I'm going to have to compose an X-Files like punch board with faces and names in string going around them so that we can keep these damn things straight. So, also, because Game of Thrones, every actor needs to be recycled and put into an Amazon production, we have Joseph Mali, who played Benjen Stark. He is going to, we believe, have been cast as Adar, according to, or Adair, from Deadline. However, this is not confirmed. This is someone who has ties to Sauron. And it would appear this character is playing a villain. We also have Kip Chapman, who, according to the Fellowship fans' Twitter account, this actor will be playing someone called Selin. Now, this actor was in a Discovery of Witches, and so we're not exactly sure. I don't know why they're keeping this all under wraps the way they are. So we also have claims. This is also the Fellowship fans of Twitter, which I would not consider an authoritative source, is claiming that Owain Arthur will be playing an air quotes important dwarven character. So that is what we know at this time. Holy cow, I didn't see what was going on this whole time because I was busy reading. We have 62 people in the chat. Oh my God, thank you guys for showing up. Welcome. So I Mike, you can get off this page. We can move on to something else. Nathan, Kyle, you guys, what you just heard me talk about, what do you think? I want your feedback.
First of all, I want to ask guys to go, please smash the like if you haven't yet. We got 56 here. Need a few more likes. The casting. Honestly, I've been worried. People have been talking about a comet in the chat Is there anything? Is there something about a comet in that show, or is that just am I being trolled?
Wait, which? Sorry, I'm having issues with Restream right now. Can you
Okay.
repeat that, Kyle? So what is it that? Go ahead.
It's come up in the chat a few times that there's somebody in the show who's riding a comet. Am I reading that wrong, or is that a different topic, or am I being just falling for a giant troll, or what's happening here?
You know what I found is if we bring it up, it'll recycle back through the chat. So it's possible. I know there was somebody said there was a major comet that was around or impacted around the Pittsburgh area over New Year's. And I also dropped hints that I very much want to cover some of the work done by Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. If people want that, please give me some F's in the chat, because that is something I would love to talk about on live streams. But I don't know anything about a comet.
Okay, maybe I'm just seeing things. That's all right.
We're all still here, so it didn't hit my house.
What I don't think that they needed to add the hobbits, or they didn't have to go back so far. If you want to have if the hobbits are going to be a key part of your storytelling, then don't go to a set in a time when they don't exist in that place. Like, it's not hard you can create lore in between, and you're probably better off if you do that than if you take someone's already established lore like the Silmarillion and play with it.
Look at Nate Nichols. Kyle just popped up in the on-screen chat. There was a leak, and of course it just bounced off the screen. So there was a leak that characters were going to arrive riding a comet.
Right. Is that for real?
I mean, from Nate Nichols, who obviously, if we can't trust Nate Nichols, who can we trust? I put more faith in people. I put more faith in people in our chat than I do any mainstream media figure on any of the big networks. I'll just say that. I am going to do some research on that.
The image that I have with.
Go ahead.
The image I have with the comet is the one guy on that one movie back in the 70s where he's on top of the atomic bomb. He's wearing a cowboy hat and just riding it as it's dropping on Japan.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Dr.
Strangelove.
Yeah, and I think that was from the 60s with Peter Sellers. Yeah, no, Slim Pickens was crazy. I love Slim Pickens, but you know what? Yeah. Would it surprise me that they did that in Amazon's Lord of the Rings? What would surprise me is if it was a man, Nathan. Maybe if it was a non-binary individual or a strong independent woman that maybe is differently abled than I think I could see.
Oh, hold on. What if someone identifies as a comet?
Don't give people ideas, okay. Kyle.
All right.
You know, would it surprise me? No.
All right, I'll leave it.
On the subject of taking Game of Thrones
the
actors
dwarf going
and putting
to
them
die
in,
and identifying as an elf.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that day.
So I approve of them taking Game of Thrones actors and putting them in Lord of the Rings because they actually can act. You know, we've seen them. They're good. And so when you think of Wheel of Time, don't you wish they had Game of Thrones actors in there?
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's a good point.
Yeah. So
well, the casting from the beginning, and that's what I made my first video on was, and this goes back to October, and I sourced this from Cosmic Book News because they did an interview with Rafe Judkins that didn't get a lot of play, and I covered it. Not celebrating myself. I'm just saying I was shocked how this thing got lost in the shuffle. Rafe Judkins, the first thing he said is 2 big changes. We're going to age these characters up. And we saw the results of that, and then also make it so the Dragon Reborn can be any gender. He wasn't specific to, and I think this is what we all should remember. It's not necessarily limited to male or female.
Right. My point though was that that you were saying, you know, the Game of Thrones actors, of course Amazon's bringing them over because they want the Game of Thrones fans, I guess, to follow. But my point is, we know they can act. We know they're good. We know they're capable. So that is a point in their favor, not a point against.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, Mike, you're right. And I didn't mean to mischaracterize your statement at all. What I find interesting is, were there other people ahead on the casting list who saw what this show was, and either they or their agents said, do not do this.
Do not do
Am I
this, yeah.
crazy? Am I crazy? Nathan, Kyle, chat, what do you guys think about that? Do you really believe, okay, maybe the guy who played Rand, and I'm not going to say
No,
why.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think they're ever up for an option, because this is one of my reviews. I made this analogy. I think that there's a set of filters that the actors have to get through in order to be even considered. What are your politics? What's your social media like? Who do you follow? Who do you like? What do you support? And if you don't check all the right boxes for the Amazon Studios executives, and you don't check all the boxes for the showrunner Rafe Judkins, then you're out. You don't get through that filter. So it's like this candy bowl on the bottom, full of, the names of what actors were able to get through that maze, and then from there they're drawn from. So you're not gonna get top tier actors on. I don't know how they got Rosamund Pike. I don't get it.
Money.
But
Well,
anyone else, all the rest of them are just, they're what got through. And
That's-
one of the funniest tweets from Rafe Judkins was, look who we have for Nynaeve. We have the entire world to choose from. Oh, we had so many options, and she's the very bestest. And it's like, no, she's just the best of the 3 people that got through your criteria, that check the boxes. And so there you go. So that's what I think. I don't think people are turning it down. I think they were not offered.
I want to shout out Brian Martin quick in the chat, because I agree. I do wonder if Barney left the show or because of how they were portraying Matt, and that he signed on for a show that changed so much that season 2 wasn't going to be with the season 2 he signed up to be a part of with that character. Because they trashed him on the show in the story. They trashed Matt, but they have said nothing about Barney. And it's not like Hollywood wouldn't leak a story where he did something wrong to make themselves look good. Right?
Well, they would monetize that and then bring people to the show on that and say, look how virtuous we are for 86ing, just like they did with Cass and Bar.
Exactly.
With The Expanse.
Right. So I could see that.
I think all this conversation about Wheel of Time is a good segue to get into the script.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hold on a second? I got to jump off real quick because I'm having some audio skipping issues. So I'll join back in here in a few seconds.
All right, I'll look for you. So
Okay.
we'll vamp for a while. So so in all clarity, right before this live stream started, we all got together because we like to do sound checks. Nathan, a Man of Manetheren, dropped some unbelievable news on me that I think a lot of people on the internet already knew. We had a super chat about it, and that is that the original form of what Amazon's Wheel of Time was going to be was in fact a much more adult themed Skinamax, highly sexualized version. You can't even call it a version. A highly sexualized mini porno based upon characters that Robert Jordan created. I don't think there's any other way to say it. I mean, from what you know, Kyle and Mike, is that unfair? And now that Nathan's back, is that an unfair characterization?
It's like Game of Bones. It's a ripoff, a Skinamax ripoff of Wheel of Time. And it's not even just that sex, it's the way it's described and who has to be in charge of the sex and who the sex is for. It's crazy. You guys won't believe this. If you haven't seen this script, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah, 100%.
Or you might.
Nathan, do you have it pulled up at all, the script? Or Mike, do you have it?
I do have it. Yeah, I have it up.
Okay.
But I am not going to play. I'm not going to play Moraine. You're going to have to give that to, maybe Kyle can do it.
Hey, you know what you do in your personal. Don't tell me about your proclivities, and then when we go public and can monetize it, then back out. I don't like when you do that. So all right. So anyway, Nathan, now that you're here, you might have heard some of what I was saying, but give us some context as to the source of this and what you've heard, and let's go ahead and put the script on screen because you describe it much better than I would.
Okay. Well, I just happened to get a push notice from the R White Cloaks Reddit group, and they somehow got a hold of the. I don't know if this is the final it's not what was produced as the final episode, but it was certainly what I think they took to film first.
And have we
And
validated that this is not a fake? This is real. Red Eagle Entertainment obviously was the production company. All of this looks legit. This has been proven to be authentic.
I'm assuming that it is. I cannot vouch for anything. I just, when I jumped on with you, I mentioned if you had seen it, and what I was reading, it sounds like it would be authentic because Rafe is all about the debauchery.
Yeah.
So you said that you had only read about 10% of this episode 1 script, and what were your takeaways on it? And if there's some really interesting things in this screenplay, let's take a look at them. I mean, if there was anything that stood out just in the couple pages that you've seen.
I wanted to get a shower first. The beginnings changed. Maureen's with the blind woman who gave the prophecy. When
let me be
dragon
your
was born.
narrator. Let me be your narrator. And we actually did this before the live stream and couldn't stop laughing. So this starts out with the character of Gitera Marosa, 70s. Beautiful, confident, powerful. Think Carmen del Orifice. She stares out into the night, a strong wind whipping white hairs loose from her bun. The thing that's most noticeable about her are her eyes. They're covered in milky film, almost completely white. She's blind. Wow.
Yep.
If you jump ahead, it talks about the setting and describes it as medieval Paris meets Tatooine. That's the quality of writing we're dealing with. It says that. That's the quality of writing here.
Moulin Rouge with Luke Skywalker in Tatooine. That's Sand Troopers at the Moulin Rouge. That's hot. That's hot.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's a train wreck. And so by the time she gets done with this prophecy, it's her focus is not that they need to go find the dragon reborn. Her focus is that Moraine needs to find the baby and kill it. So it just
wow.
It's like,
so
that's some agenda stuff right there.
So we can go through that.
Wow.
Let's see. Get to the.
It's right there.
Yep. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Tearing off. Okay. What are you seeing? Another flash.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nocturne lifts up a baby.
Yeah,
looks
placenta and amniotic sac. I mean, come on. And as if like that whole the pregnant fight scene in the cold open for episode 8 wasn't bad enough. Watching a helicopter, a sky view shot of Tam pulling the baby out of her womb I'm like, does that need to be on camera? I mean, honestly.
It doesn't. So, yeah, another flash, point of view of the mother looking at her baby. We cannot see its gender. They specifically, even in this early script dated from 2018, did not reveal whether it was, a boy or a girl. It squirms, but there is something about it that feels wrong. Gitera Marosa, harsh, broken whisper. The dragon is born again. Wow, I want to do this as a radio play. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if I could. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to go on Fiverr and hire some voice actors.
Well, I couldn't monetize it, and I probably would get sued if it's real. So that would probably be the only validation that this was real is if I got my channel taken down.
Find the baby Moraine. Kill it. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. It's...
but we're going to honor Robert Jordan.
Oh, and this is my favorite.
Yeah.
So this is this is the part that you saw in the trailer that I never saw in the actual series. I don't know. I guess they cut it.
Hold
But
on,
this
hold
is-
on, Mike. So
yeah.
Brett Rose, I know you guys were having a conversation. Just to catch you up, this is a leaked screenplay, the original version of the Wheel of Time's draft, or what we presume was the draft when they started casting this show. And this was the original intent, the original characters, and the original messaging of Wheel of Time, allegedly. But there is very strong there's very strong evidence to suggest, and other YouTubers are covering this, that this is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Mike.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
we
I
have
just-
Nynaeve describing her. She has a lamb in her arms. Lamb is in all caps for reasons. Nynaeve has a long brown braid. I just want to highlight that for a moment. Let that sink in. The color of her hair. And
Wow.
yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I'm not going to even go there, though. Okay, so steps into the pool, splashes the contents of a bucket onto Egwene. It's green paint. Now, we saw that scene where
Yep.
Egwene comes up through the middle of that pond, and it's got all the different colors that go out. And I think that it has to do with all this. But what's really interesting here is what Nynaeve does with this lamb. Then before we can even have time to prepare for it, Nynaeve cuts the neck of the lamb with the
my
broken
God.
leg. The thick blood leaves a splatter of bright red on Egwene's body. With each dying surge of the lamb's
Oh my
heart, another
God.
spray hits Egwene, but she does not flinch.
Because she's a powerful woman.
Right.
Oh my God. So this, I'll tell you what, if somebody made all of this up,
She
they did a
stands
hell of a
still.
job.
This is great,
Yeah.
though, Corey.
No, I mean,
She's
it's
young
where I'm
but
going,
fearsome, like a mini-colored god.
Ugh.
which is what we saw in the early promo.
Yeah. That's right.
Video. And that where I'm going with this is, this script is suspect, but the more that we go into it, the more we see that there was video shot incorporating elements of characters and descriptions that never made it into the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, that's it. There's so much here, guys. It's however many pages. I mean, look.
Scroll up a little bit, Mike.
It's like
Scroll up
50
just
pages.
a little bit, Mike.
Yeah.
Right there. So that
Yeah.
last thing, Nynaeve gently sets the lamb into the pool. Its dying face quickly disappears beneath the white. So do they get the lamb later, or is it just that left in that water to fester like all the previous lambs that they've slaughtered to do this ceremony? So you're just sitting in a nasty festering pool of decaying bodies.
I don't know.
You
Is
know,
that why Nynaeve is scrubbing rocks later in whatever episode
Oh
that
my
was?
God. Oh my God.
I mean,
That's
Oh,
it.
That's why
That's
you're right.
it. That's why
and,
she's
and
scrubbing
it's sacred.
rocks.
This place is sacred.
It's the sacred pool of mutton stew making, where you throw all the dead animals in, and I'm shocked. I question the validity of this, and I'm not acting. But now
This
that
is
we're
Wiccan.
covering
This
this,
is Wiccan stuff, right?
it is. It's
Yeah.
straight up. It is straight up, and it's dark. It's
Yeah.
dark magic. It's not white magic. I know.
So we don't
Wiccans.
Well,
have the
yeah.
light and the creator and all that stuff. We have they're performing satanic rituals. It seems like. I mean, what the hell?
Well,
And
here's
you're
the
only
thing.
5 pages in.
Well, here's the thing, though, and we talked about this. What's missing from the story in general, besides virtually anything that makes this Robert Jordan, is that this world is in a constant state of winter, and crops
Yeah.
are failing in the
Right.
books. So, going back to Eastern religions and philosophy and other things that I did my minor in, having sacrifice of animals to
Mhm.
the gods to bring on a change of season or the solstice might make sense. However, I say that knowing that I am overthinking it, and there is no way the people who came up with this have any idea what the hell I'm talking about. So
You were talking about earlier reshoots. So this is one of them, because instead of having the hair braiding ceremony here, which is where all the women were gathered around this pond with the lamb, instead they had Nynaeve throw her off the canyon into the river, and right
Yeah,
before that they were all sitting around on rocks talking about.
I think the
what it means
braiding
to be a
happens later. I think the braiding is a few pages later.
Right here. Yeah, Nynaeve has a long lock of hair, begins to braid. She gently tucks it into Gwyn's hair and begins to braid.
Okay, yeah.
So, how much of this do you think was shot?
Scroll down a little bit, Mike, because I'm seeing, there it is, stop. Nynaeve continued. To be a woman is to always be alone and never alone. So when the dark surrounds you and you see no light, feel that. Did she say it that way in episode 1?
So.
That feels like a million years ago. Because I just watched episode 8 again. Go ahead.
I think it is in there because I just rewatched episode 1, which made me want to stick my head in the blender. But and just to like read that, to be a woman is to be always alone and never alone. That is some stupid language. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. And of course, they want to sit there and put these two countering things out there, like it's supposed to be some philosophically brilliant statement. But let's give it a pass because it sounds so cool.
It sounds like something that the Smith College Wiccan Coven would be doing in Northampton, Massachusetts. I may have some very direct experience with. Oh, I'm going to stop talking. Anyway, so we've got Paul Wolfley saying spirit cooking. Fair, very fair observation. You guys, like Nathan, what do you think about this? Man of Manetheren, are you horrified? You've read probably a fair amount of this. What is your takeaway? What is your feeling?
It's horrible. I mean, and we haven't even gotten to the sex yet. I mean, it's
what? Wait a minute. Wait, it gets worse? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. Buckle up.
Yeah. It's there's a section in there where you get the scene where Matt actually got the bracelet from that one chick, and he spends time going down on her, but he doesn't let her go down on him because he didn't want her knees to get muddy.
Let's jump to that. Can we go to that scene?
Oh God!
I can't believe this.
I wanted to see if that part where he actually sees the fade in the background somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there it is, right there.
Oh, okay. Where do you see it? Yeah, right there.
Underlined.
So they had him in there originally. They cut it.
Unbelievable. I was looking for all of those things, and none of them were there. It was just it was Gilmore Girls with character names from Robert Jordan's works.
I think this was shot.
I agree.
I wonder if Brandon Sanderson stopped it.
Al Dan, that's why I have your chat up. I think they did shoot this. And Mike and I, OBG70, we'd have conversations that we didn't make public where I said a lot that I thought I saw a lot of reshoot continuity issues, and especially with Rosamund Pike. And it had to do most notably when they're in the cave with the women's studies covey with Logain. I thought that her wig was way off. And not only that, but they did a lot of shots of her alone with Logain where it looked like they brought her in to reshoot some key moments. And then the same thing when we're in the tower with the Disney princess multicultural Amerlin seats. I thought there was a lot of reshoots there too. And that would explain why the tower looks so damn empty. We still don't have an explanation why the busy tower with all of the novices and the accepted, you don't see novices and accepted. This to me, maybe I'm biased, but I think it confirms a lot of the suspicions that I had about this show.
This is, of course, a lot of fun to read about, Piran Ibarra. He's 220 pounds of muscle. He's what does it say here? Something about, let me see.
He's only 5'10".
Definition. He's a definition of masculinity. And then he's with his wife. He's doing blacksmithing stuff. His biceps and forearms bulge with the effort. And then at the bellows is his wife. She's just as strong, toned, and muscular.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
Miscast
Kyle.
from the start.
Wow. Well, I mean, notice this. He's got a massive tong. Sorry,
Oh.
I had to do it.
His tool, yes, big tool.
Oh my god.
All right.
Well, do screenplays normally have a whole bunch of capitalized words in the middle of it for
Yes.
emphasis? I'm not.
Yeah,
They do?
They
Okay.
also, it's directions for shooting, and this all. I've done some screenplays. I'm just gonna say that.
All right.
And
Trying to find the
nobody.
page.
But this is the way they look. This is the way they look.
Trying to find the page so I can print it out later and lock myself in a room by myself.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. There's. Oh, wait. Go back up. So Matt has always been a degenerate. Let's look at this. Matt is hitting on a woman, and then look at this, Matt. It's with Perrin, and it's like, Matt, about what? You're married. Your life is over. Rand's cold in the mountains, pining over Egwene, only sheep to keep him warm.
Yep, that was in the show.
Okay.
That's a direct quote.
Okay. So that's fascinating. That is, some of this stuff just jumps right out.
Only sheep to keep him warm?
Yeah, I remember that.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Okay, sure,
I mean,
fair enough, yeah.
Not that I have any direct experience, but
And
He
that
is a
line right there,
sh-
too. It was Days Conger. She'd piss in your mouth and tell you it's raining. That's
Yep.
disgusting. And that was in the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, look at what they kept. Look at what they kept. Like, if this is a fabrication and someone was trying to make this seem really terrible, they couldn't come up with anything worse than what was actually in the show.
And by the way, for Chad, just Google, leaked Wheel of Time script episode 1. It wasn't hard to find. I think it took me less than 20 seconds to find this PDF.
Wow.
but after the show.
Unbelievable.
After the show, yes. I'm just saying, if you want to find it yourself,
I'm
you
joking.
don't have to read it here.
You're breaking up. No, you're breaking up. Sorry, Kyle, you overmodulated and broke. I don't know if something happened. Just a heads up. So,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry about that.
He was fine for me, so it must be.
No, it's okay. It's got to be me. Yeah, I'm the
Here
problem.
we go.
Okay.
The note. Right there. The note.
The note.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wants to
I'll
read
read
that?
it out loud because I don't think this is. I'll do it. So note, all sex scenes in season 1 will be focused on the pleasure of the likewise. The female body should always be seen as strong and in control in these scenes. So not just the narrative, but every element of the Wheel of Time was intersectional feminism.
it's pretty well spelled out.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's shocked to hear this.
No, it's just crazy to see it. It's just it's crazy to see it, and then all the names that a lot of us were called for saying this is happening, and surprise, it's really happening.
Jeez.
Here, and this is the first of the sex scenes.
Oh, it's the first of them. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know how I always get suckered into pulling this stuff up.
Oh my God. I think, chat, you can read it for yourself if you are unfortunately you have a loss of
Warning.
vision.
This stream is for mature audiences only.
Yeah, I don't think I can read this and not get busted. So we will put a link to this document in the live stream when it's uploaded, so you can be horrified in the privacy of your own home. So this is
Then she
I'm glad
slowly
it's on your
slides
channel,
down
not
the
mine.
wall.
yeah.
Wow. Her stomach, her breast, finally her lips. This is amazing writing. We got a super chat.
Oh, sorry, I'm busy looking at this terrible pornography.
I get it.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Where is it? Did you put it in chat? I'm looking. I don't know if I'm behind you guys or what, but oh, there it is. Got it. Oh, fantastic. Oh boy. Okay, you guys are gonna kill me with this.
Yeah.
Fad. shouldn't be. Did I do that right, sir? So I'm going to try it again. Thad, that should not be. All right. Just there you go. $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Has Rafe writes Egwene sheep are the better option. As long as they don't have moles on their nose, I agree with that entirely. So hail to you. Thad shouldn't be hail. Wow. I
have not read through this yet. That chat,
no,
so I don't know where to stop. I'm just reading.
No. It's okay. But I mean, wait a minute. Wait, look at Nynaeve's dialogue. I'm sorry, old man. I didn't hear you. If you have something to say, then speak up so we can all hear it. Well, there's Nynaeve. It's just really. Do they have Tom in this? I think I and a lot of people are wondering if Tom is in this. You guys,
I don't know.
See other things, jump into it. So
I can do that. Cool. This is coming up through, I think, my Chrome browser, so I don't know how to search. Let me see.
No Tom.
Search
and Hale, shout out.
There's no Tom.
Kyle,
no. Okay.
For you, Punk Waddle. I have now made a raider, so Hale in the chat, Punk Waddle.
Yeah. Okay.
Name yourself, stranger. Mandragorn.
Mandragorn or something.
I know. I'm trying to read it with my bad eyes. Warrior born and bred, his long black hair is tied by a Hadori, and he wears a katana-like sword across his back.
No, he does not wear a katana-like sword, you freaking morons.
Oh, look at Moraine. Here we go. All the shit that I took about Aes Sedai, and here we go. Moiraine, the woman from the teaser, steps in. And this is underlined for emphasis so the casting people know to do this. She looks barely a day older than she did 20 years ago. Wow.
Well, yeah, they only filmed the two scenes, a day or two apart. So
true. We got another super chat. This is from Vic Rattlehead N with 100.
This didn't happen.
Hold on, let me finish the super chat. I am ignorant of what an IRN is. If anybody on this chat knows, thank you for the 100 IRN. Eggs Mole is the creator in this turning of the wheel. I think that mole is sentient. And God, I swear to God, I didn't. They shot it in the first episode, so they tried to hide it. Did you notice in some of the shading that they did with the lighting? And then eventually, I think they just said, "Well, there's just too much mole. We gotta go with what we got." So, hail to you.
Yeah, it's like
Vic.
I'm sure at one point it was like Robin Hood Men in Tights. I have a mole.
Oh my God! Absolutely.
I can't be the only person who thought that was a nose ring.
Oh no, I did too. I said it. I said it in my episode 1 review, and I apologized in my episode 2 review because people told me they called me names. I want to go back to Vic Rattlehead. These are Indian. I got 100 Indian rupees because I'm an uncivilized, uncultured Yank. Thank you for that. Eggs Mole is the creator in this turning of the wheel. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be cruel to anybody. I genuinely didn't know what the hell was on her face. I thought it was a nose ring, and it's not. It's something much more sinister.
Well, I don't want to demean her at all.
It's a beauty mark, guys. Come on, it's a beauty mark.
I'm sure she's, for some people's taste, she's great, but I can't imagine those Rand and Perrin competing for Egwene. I just can't see it.
I think you got it wrong.
Oh no, what?
No, this is Mike. Mike, I actually shared your theory on my video that drops tomorrow. I'm going to let you do your theory and let you vamp for 30 seconds. I'll be back in 30.
What's my theory about? Sorry.
The love triangle.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. It's not really factual or anything, guys. It was just, the idea that if you follow Pirin throughout the entire, 8-episode arc and who he's looking at all the time, and who he's talking about all the time and all the situations he's in, they want you to believe that he's looking at Egwene, that he's thinking about Egwene, and then my stupid ass theory that Corey won't let die is that he's actually attracted to Rand, not Egwene. That the love triangle is that both Egwene and Pirin are after Rand. So that was it.
Mike, to back you up, when Perrin gets in Rand's face and Rand decides he wants to spend time looking at Perrin's lips as Perrin approaches him, Perrin does, in his deep voice, say, "I have only loved one other woman, or one woman, my wife." He real specifically said woman.
Yep.
So
yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
And further, Mike, actually, to back this up, when Perrin gets taken by the White Cloaks and gets tied up in that certain position, he doesn't fight too hard to get away, does he?
Oh God.
No, everything you guys just said, with the exception of the last statement, that's why I brought it up. So, honest to God, though, seriously, that choice of the dialogue that they had Perrin say, that's why I'm repeating what you said, Mike, is because I didn't believe it at first, and then now, having watched episode 8 too many times, and watching the scene where Egwene and Perrin are sitting on the bed, they have changed Perrin. Like, Perrin is... What's the right word so that I don't get canceled? He would be the sub.
He's the Jack Murphy.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's just watch him. They have made Perrin this pinnacle of masculinity and alpha wolf energy from the books. Submissive. Mm-hmm. Consciously, especially with what happens with Fane walking out with obviously the Horn of Valere, which was in the wrong place, but he just stood there and let them walk away, and I kept waiting for him to lose his shit because I still believe the people who made Wheel of Time are going to do something that looks like the story, but I was wrong. And I think Mike, you're onto something. This is going to be a love triangle.
I don't want to be onto something. I really don't want that to be true. It bothers me that I even thought of it, but it's like how screwed up is my brain that's where I went with that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not you're not the one with the screwed up brain. I think Salty, I mentioned to you earlier today, it's like they're going to make Perrin come out as trans so that they can still keep the men's vision of 3 women intact.
Jeez, oh God. One of the things I always complained about in my reviews was that Moiraine never had the gem on her forehead, but she was supposed to have. And I also thought that the reason is because Rosamund Pike, it's probably just irritated her. It's probably just dangling there on her face, and she's like, "Can we please write this out? This is bugging the crap out of me." Because it's right there in the script that she should have it. And she only wore it one time. That's when she went in to see the Amerlin.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's her angreal, right? It's not a terror angreal, it's an angreal. Right?
No, I think it's a terror angreal because she uses it to spy on people. She can eavesdrop with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of these comments are awesome in the chat.
Some of them, not the other ones, though.
I can't stop laughing. Yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
Colin Delar Bard. Oh, it jumped on me, of course, now.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I was busy on Twitter because somebody told me to look at a... yeah, sorry. Now I'm triple tasking. This one came from Son of Jockster, and I just sent it to you guys. So, yeah. If we want to bounce that around and put that up, we certainly can. But it's the scene of Egwene in the pool, which never appears in the entire season, and she's got green paint on her, just like what was described in this screenplay.
Oh,
yeah. So,
and that's what I was visually remembering. So, what were you saying about that other super chat, Kyle?
I was just saying that Kundar Bard describes it well when he says that he stares deeply into Rand's eyes while saying he's only ever loved one woman.
I know. I know
Yeah.
those are not just accidents. There's nothing
No.
accidental in this show. So another super chat from Vic Rattlehead in, and this is again 100 rupees. Thank you. The most cosmopolitan town is least diverse. And of course, what he's doing is he's referring to Tar Valon, which should be Camelin. I'll continue the super chat. It was supposed to be Ogier build, shoddy construction, no sisters inside tower. Why so empty? Well, right there, Vic, honest to God, you covered things that I would break out into half an hour Mahler-like deconstructions to address. But everything that Vic Rattlehead is saying is true. I mean, Emmons Field was more diverse than Tar Valon, okay, which was obviously the wrong city. Also, this was supposed to have been built by the Ogier, so huge monumental structures made out of stone. We saw shoddy, crappy Tudor-style stuff. And then, of course, like I just mentioned, there was no novices, no accepted in the tower, just all of the the gender studies professors at the conference center. And why was it so empty? In my opinion, it was because they ran out of money and because they had used all that money to do the original shoots, which they discarded. Now, I think is a fair assessment. And so they just had to run a skeleton crew, and this is what we got. What do you guys think of that statement? Am I just making stuff up, or what do you think?
Pretty on point.
I think so. I think it's right. I think maybe Rafe has a copy of it in his drawer next to his bed. The original.
Wait, what's in a drawer by his bed? Oh, the script. Okay.
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
No, never mind. Okay.
At least
one of the things I was so upset about, and I think it was one of the only times I think the entire community came together and said, "What this is kind of nonsense," was when Moiraine almost self-identified as Aes Sedai, where Meryn was able to recognize the Great Serpent Ring and go, "Oh, of course Aes Sedai." But in the original script, apparently, there is nothing. She was described as being very ladylike. You mistake me, I'm no lady. So she's calling him like my lady, that kind of a thing. There's no mention at all of being Aes Sedai.
Whoa, wait a minute. Go back up. So this
right there.
is... Yeah.
It's coming up.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that original thing, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I want room. We need stables and horses, room tonight. And then right after that, that's when Meryn would said, yes, Aes Sedai, or of course Aes Sedai, or something.
Yeah.
So that was not how that was supposed to go. I do see it down here. Then Moiraine notices something on Moraine's finger, the Great Serpent Ring, a golden snake-like eating its own tail. Okay.
I wish
added it later on.
I wish
Aes
the
Sedai. Oh man.
I wish the Aes Sedai rings were more like what I always imagined in my head. What they've got them wearing is, I don't like the rings at all. What do you guys think? Nate,
I hate them.
It's horrid.
Kyle?
I felt that they sent a schematic or a drawing or something out to somebody who can make jewelry for the set. They came back with this monstrosity, and they said, "Well, we could do it again. We'll just go back. We'll make another 100 of them or whatever it was." And they're like, "No, it's going to cost too much money. Never mind. We'll just go with these." That's the only thing that can make sense to me, because they're just so hideously big, or they just wanted them to stick out. They wanted it to be a big deal, hanging around whoever that idiot's his belt.
Oh,
they
right.
wanted, I can't remember the name of that guy, but whoever, they just wanted to stand. Yeah. They want him to stand out more, I guess. But
I think they're an abomination. I don't like them at all.
No.
And that's not it. Why would you wear something like that? That's such an identifiable figure from a distance. People can see that from a mile away.
See, you bring out a very good point. Someone wearing that ring on horseback, you could see from 100 yards and know who they were. And as soon as your back was turned, someone could light you up with a longbow, crossbow, an axe. There was nothing subtle here's the important word. There was nothing subtle or feminine about that ring. And in my mind, that was a deliberate choice. Nathan, what do you think?
My little brother has an Ohio State National Championship ring from 2002, and it's smaller than Maureen's ring.
Super Bowl rings are smaller than Moiraine's rings. Seriously.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They were meant to be subtle. It wasn't meant to. It was meant as an identification of sorts that you were at least tower trained, but it wasn't meant to necessarily be worn at all times. Or if it was worn at all times, it wasn't supposed to be, so upfront that everybody would be able to sit there and say, "Oh, that person's Aes Sedai, that person's Aes Sedai, that person's Aes Sedai."
Yeah.
And
in the later book, in the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying. I mean, they just everything that the Aes Sedai, for the most part, it was more on an individual level, but for the most part, Aes Sedai did not go out there announcing themselves to everybody because most of the world was actually very skeptical of the Aes Sedai.
Yes. And not only that, wait a minute. Now,
What?
Nathan, you're blowing my mind. You mean they didn't walk around looking like a box of crayons had fallen out, and if you're yellow, you look like you're from Kill Bill. If you're green, you look like Oscar the Grouch. If you're blue, you wear a Cookie Monster costume. You're telling me that's not how it was?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, Robert Jordan had this ability that no writers seem to have today, and that's this word called subtlety. So we're going to write stories where sex is so explicitly put on screen because you can't use your imagination and say, "Hey, you know what? Matt walked away with that one girl. I bet you they're going to do something naughty."
Yeah. Man, this is really interesting to me. This stood out. So this is about when Moraine and Lan take the hot tub together, or the lukewarm tub. So could be warmer, and then Moraine makes it warmer. I'm paraphrasing here. And then he rests back as we wonder what just happened. Did Moraine do something to the water? Is that what an Aes Sedai is? Is this something that I mean, did you guys get that from this scene? Did you wonder? There was any wonder at all there, or what Aes Sedai was, or what it could do? Because
no.
As we wonder what happened, so it's like the audience is supposed to go like, "Oh my gosh, you made the water warmer. What is she?"
So she farted. She farted.
Yeah.
She farted in the tub. That's fantastic. Honestly.
Yeah,
That's the writer
Aes
patting himself on the
Sedai
back.
power. They can fart in a tub of water without any bubbles.
It's a little bit like a live performer writing in pause for applause. Right?
Please clap. Please clap.
Yeah.
She's got massive shoulders. This is Piran's wife. She's got massive shoulders and muscles rippling down her arms.
Oh my God.
Who? That's She-Hulk.
They cast the wrong girl for that role. Then, if that's how she's supposed to be, they needed Cara Dune, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Right. Yeah, they
like
totally
that.
miscast, and if that's how they wanted it presented.
Well, just here's the thing. I mean, oh God, I can't say that on YouTube, can I? Because it's a biological fact. So, female MMA fighters still have a frame that is commensurate with a woman by a traditional definition. So you could find some broader shouldered, but biologically the hips are where the widest point is for, again, apparently reasons that could be canceled. So.
Okay, so Mike, keep it right there.
Yeah. I'm laying.
Maddie Cawthon. So this is drunk Matt's mom,
right,
talking to her daughters. I'm fine, you little.
Oh my God. I don't think she was going to say cutie.
Whoa.
I hope not.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning, even though they knew Matt's family was one of the strongest ones in Emmons Field, they set out to destroy the nuclear family. Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Want to be respectful of them. This one comes to us from Taker 610, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Who says, I love the idea of Perrin being totally turned on by being being tied up and cut by Valda. Woo! Valda then gets creeped out and asks, "What are you?" Okay, what do we think about that? Did I mischaracterize that super chat? Nathan, Mike, help me out on that one.
You nailed it. I think you nailed it. And do you think Perrin was upset and disappointed when Egwene freed him? And notice when he got free, he didn't attack the guy. He kind of just moved closer to him, kind of looking longingly in his eyes, possibly.
Well, here's the thing. Taker 610. You're not wrong. Now that because my brain has been stuck at episode 8 and I needed Kyle to remind me of this, I think you're not wrong. And that whole scene, I know it was reshot. Let's be really honest about it. That was something I didn't talk about a lot, but that whole thing felt like something else happened there. It really did. It's a little too sterile. And here's the thing, that entire scene in the camp, where the hell is the army? Where are the rest of the sadistic S&M beauticians who strip Egwene?
Oh God, I don't want to read that.
And then even when the wolf attack, give me a break. They're throwing around Siberian Huskies like it was
world's
shaky
smallest
cans.
wolves.
Where was the rest of the White Cloaks? So that, to me, I think that entire scene was reshot. I think that what happened with Egwene and the S&M beauticians was a lot worse than ever.
Oh God!
Green.
I can't read any further.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, fuck.
I can. Where are we? Hold on.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna look away. You go ahead and read that part. I'm gonna
wait. What are you setting me up for? Wait a minute.
Oh God! Chat, help! All right, I'm AFK
I'm
for a
telling
bit.
you,
Wait,
it's
what?
bad.
Wait, okay.
This
so
is Randon Egwene.
Is it bad enough to get a channel strike?
No, no, I don't think it would be. I'm not familiar enough with strikes.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to read this dialogue. We will post a link to this PDF for this screenplay. But let's just say someone has been digitally manipulating something, and it wasn't a calculator, and that causes. You can see what goes on here. It's wow. So it was not an overstatement to say that the original draft of this script we know it, based upon the information in the document we have in front of us, this was a Skinamax level softcore porn. Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. I do not know what to say to that.
I'm reading this.
Like I said before, I felt like I needed to go get a shower.
I thought what they did was terrible. This is terrible in a different way. They literally took the pornography and then decided not to make it Skinamax, and they turned it into identity politics, neo-Marxism, and intersectional feminism.
Honestly, I think there's another reason too. I think that they wrote the script before they cast the characters, and the actors that they cast, they didn't want to put in these situations.
I literally, this is blowing my mind, and now I know in my heart, when we keep asking where did the $80 million go, I think in my opinion, we now know there is a whole lot of film in a can with more people and more CG that was entirely reshot. I'm going to say some of these episodes, it just now, my gut tells me we're reshot 60%, at least 60%. Yeah. What do you guys think? Nathan, Mike, Kyle, what's your opinion?
There's no doubt. There's really no doubt. They are base in their thinking, and they're just not gonna. They want to sit there and deny, and say that this stuff is horrible. This is patriarchal or whatever. This but yet they'll at the same time they'll sit there and go ahead and film this stuff, and then they'll keep it so that they can just go back for sock material.
Well, here's the thing. They are the self-appointed moral arbiters, and they will decide what is suitable for pornography in the gaze of whatever gender. We don't have to like it. That's why we're on YouTube calling this bullshit out. I want to shout out again, Vic Rattlehead N with a 40 Indian Rupal super chat. She wrapped Land's bum in flows of water. We have a poet among us. This is the most beautiful haiku I have seen in a long time. Hail to you, Vic Rattlehead. And keep sending those haiku porn super chats. We love it here at Texas Salty Sea.
It's a cut above the script, that's for sure.
No, it's not much. Yeah. I wanted to go back to the wolf attack scene. That wolf attack scene.
Yeah.
Where's point out? Go back. No, not on the script. Sorry, I meant in the episode 5 or whenever that was.
Yep.
Go back and watch that. I don't think you ever see a wolf, or outside of when Perrin's looking directly at one of them. But when the White Cloaks are being attacked, they're being pulled into tents by wolves and all sorts of stuff. I mean, they cut so much.
They did, and like I said, there's nobody. There's nobody.
It was
there.
It looked like comedy.
It felt like. Yeah, well, I felt like I was going through like the It's a Small World After All, and you're going through the ride or the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and you're seeing these things, these animatronic actions that are clearly meant. Oh, this guy's getting pulled into here by something, and it's just cheap. It's just
you can see them. You can see them a couple of times, but they look like blurry stuffed animals that someone's throwing at someone else, for fun. Like a Muppet, like Muppets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I did northern breed animal rescue for a number of years. I had many Siberian Huskies. The difference between Huskies and wolves is about 100 pounds and about a foot or two, because especially timber wolves, which you would anticipate being in the scene, would be much larger animals. The dogs that we get do not have the structure at all to even fake that they are wolves. Not one. And when they do have one dog that's running away, that is a very short American Husky, maybe not even a Siberian Husky purebred. So I don't know who they paid, if they just paid some bums to go round up street dogs from Eastern Europe and throw them into this scene, but it was just dumb. And at one point it literally looks like somebody's got a drugged dog and they shove them into this like sadistic S&M beautician's face, and then like all just shaky cam, and it's like, what are we doing? How is this $80 million?
With the 2 tents they have and the 4 extras that they've got, and no armor on the White Cloaks, and the whole thing is just a disaster.
Yeah, they couldn't even CG in horses in a picket line. They couldn't CG. They couldn't be buggered to even do CGI tents. They're just in this close shot, and that's it. So to me, literally, when I saw that, I was like, this is a reshoot. But then they just pissed all the money away on all these guys ripping the clothes off of Egwene, and it's like now to me, in my opinion, that this script explains a hell of a lot.
Like Paul Wolfley gets it right when he says the budget was bloated. Writer's room that demanded catering, fine dining, and luxury hotels. Probably.
No, I agree with that. And there's another element to this, and I haven't said it out loud for fear of legal action. What I will say is that I would be curious to know how many people knew the showrunner before this show started, and maybe had varying levels of inexperience for what they were paid and what they provided. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah.
Is it possible Rafe was sleeping with a cast member?
Oh, you mean like what? You mean like a warder?
So yeah, something like that.
You mean like a warder maybe that inexplicably had a storyline completely created for the show?
Yeah, like that. Nah, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, I don't know. That's just crazy talk.
Yeah.
All things are possible. Hail, I got another. You guys are fantastic tonight. Hail to you in the chat. I said it in my last live stream, and I mean it. Everything that's happening right now, me now having 1,200 subscribers, which I am nothing but honored and I am humbled. None of this would be possible without your engagement, participation, and criticism, all of which I really appreciate. Hail to you, Daniel, with another super chat for $5. If the actor who played Matt had even a sliver of morality, then it's an easy theory why he might have left. Maybe he didn't have to act to look sick.
Good comment.
Yeah, Mike, Nathan, Kyle, respond to that super chat, because I know how I feel, but I want to hear what you guys think about this.
I personally think that's why he left, and I think that's why they're not telling us what happened. I mean, if there, I read in the chat there may be a health issue of his, but he to me was the best actor on the show, unless you want to count Moraine, but her acting didn't have any range to it. His did, and he had the most charisma to me on screen. And he doesn't. I don't think he needs this show, and I think he signed on for a different show where his character would be more prominent, not put in the back. Especially coming to season 2, where he's a major character in the book. And if they were going to go away from that, then I understand why he wouldn't come back, and I don't blame him at all. I'm actually impressed.
Nathan, go. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't, I mean, because he's probably under some sort of non-disclosure agreement, we'll know when it doesn't matter anymore. But it's with how they treated his character after episode 6 or 7, whenever that was. It's I think it's pretty easy to see how they could sit there and change everything so quickly on him. I mean, they cure him, and he's supposed to be better, although Moraine's questioning that. But then when he stays behind, there's not a positive thing said about Matt as the character of the rest of the show outside of Rand giving him a defense.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
It just,
Mike?
there's too much.
Yeah. I think that what could have happened was that he was offered a role to play this character, and he went online and he started reading the wiki about who Matt Cawthon was, what he's all about. He's like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be a great character. Then he accepts the role, gets the script, and is like, what the hell? But by then, it's already too late. He already's under contract. So he's like, all right, we'll see what happens. And then as it went on, he was like, this is not going the way I wanted it to. I don't know if they have early out clauses. I don't know what they have. I don't know if they have to pay fines. I'm not sure how all that works, but I think that he just walked off and he was just like, I'm done. I can't hang it. You guys have me for one more day of shoot or one more week or whatever the ultimatum was, and I'm out. I think that's what happened.
I think all of you are right. The other thing too is I think undeniably, I don't think a lot of what they showed him as was makeup. He seemed to have lost weight in the later episodes. He did not look well. And much like Kyle, Nathan, Mike, what you all said, I would have loved to have that character, what's his name, Barney, be the Matt that we know from the books. He would have been awesome. Is he a little old? Yes. I would have preferred someone that was 16, 17 years old. But if we're going to age him up a little bit, you could say this guy was 19, 20. Okay, we can roll with that. But the later books, when he gets the dice, oh God, all of it. I mean, when he starts to speak in the old tongue, when they go to the city in the clouds, in the wastelands with the eye eel, that actor would have been perfect. Hail to you, Daniel. You got your $5 worth on that super chat. Thank you very much, Daniel. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we've got someone in chat saying, and this is Matthew Machu, and if I say your name wrong, just put it phonetically in there and I will do it. He says they use Czechoslovak wolf dog. I don't know that breed. I have spent time in Slovakia and in the mountains of Slovakia, and also, but I don't know that dog breed. I also know they have some very interesting dog breeds in Romania as well, but I will look that up. So thank you for that comment, Machu. And then, of course, we could always count on Kulindar Bard for the insight. He was banging a warder. I would say you are not wrong.
Need to see what happens
What
when
else?
that bond is broken.
Oh, boy. I got to tell you.
We got a comment here from Bart as well. He says they've removed the Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb link. Now it says to go to Twitch on Amazon.
Oh, that's because... Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Nathan, I want you to take
I'm
credit
looking
for
at-
breaking Rotten Tomatoes. You did it.
You're-
This stuff is happening in real time, all of this. I thought tonight we were going to focus mostly on Marvel Phase 4 and on Lord of the Rings, and we have, and we will in another live stream, but we're not trying to milk Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is milking us, and this is just unbelievable. It's literally choking us to death, but we have to fight back here, and I don't think anybody else is talking about this stuff. So when they roll up in season 2 and Rafe tells you that he's changed, baby, and he's not going to slap you around or cheat on you anymore, remember this. This is an abusive relationship on social media, and we haven't talked about it in a while, but I just showrunners that say things like this, man, you're not winning any points in my world.
I wish we did have more time for all the other stuff, but this is so cool. And going through this, one of the things I just noticed I thought was really awesome. So one of the things I hated about the show is that they shot the attack of the Trollocs out of order. In other words, they had it attacking Winespring Inn and Aemond's Field before they had that amazing scene from the books where Rand and Tam were sitting down for dinner and the door busts in, right? But in the script here, that is actually how they have it written, is that it's supposed to happen out at the farm first.
Yeah.
So it's exactly how it should have been.
Yep.
But they changed it. They moved it to
Is there
town.
any indication that we're seeing that they bothered to even do 1 minute of the scene of Rand dragging his father back to town? Or did
I'm
they
still
blow that?
scrolling. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through that. 50 pages of this stuff, man. It's taking forever.
Tom Thane, the Miller's son. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking for anything that might indicate that a Gleeman was in fact.
No, I have not
in
seen any Gleeman.
Hammond's
And
Field.
Nathan said earlier that Tom's not in this.
Yeah, okay.
He's not.
While you
Amazon
do
does
that,
Twitch.
yep, Brian Martin points out something that Amazon owns Twitch. So
Right,
Nathan,
of
if I understood you correctly, the Rotten Tomatoes score was taken down. Is it taken down or is it just locked now?
The score for is that what it said?
Yeah, the score for.
back there.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, Bart is saying it's taken down. IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes have both been, the links have been taken down and they reroute you to Twitch now. I haven't checked, but that's what he's saying.
Well, see, and I'm not sure where those links are on this page.
What would be cool is if this is all because of you, Nathan.
I just said this is Nathan. This is Nathan. Dude, I swear to God, I'm gonna make T-shirts that said Nathan. You know, a man of Manetheren broke Rotten Tomatoes and wear that proudly.
I pulled up Wheel of Time on Rotten Tomatoes without a problem, so I don't.
Okay, I figured. So
Yeah.
he's saying that they removed the link from Amazon itself. So if you go to the Amazon show, it's not there.
Oh,
I gotcha. I
So
understand now.
the score star thing that they had up that kept falling.
Yeah, you can't get there from Amazon now.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but they had 1.6 billion minutes watched. It's a huge success. It was so good that they renewed it for 3 seasons before it even dropped.
It's a triumph.
well, and I heard somewhere, and I wish I could remember who had said this, But if you like follow the history of that statement, there was one statement after like episode 3 when they did the first 3 release and then the 4th episode that they had already so many millions of minutes watched on the first 4 episodes. So the decrease rate is insane to get to the 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you go down there and average out by minutes per episode, it's basically down to like 1 to 3 million viewers.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is a whole lot.
That's about the same that watched was it Loki, or it wasn't Hawkeye, but it's not good. It's really not good. I'm gonna shout this out too. This is Al Dan. It says, guys, honestly, if you take out the smut, this OG script is 100 times better than what we got. You read my mind, Al Dan. I was gonna ask that question just now. What are we on? Page? I can't see the page
I'm
number.
on 45.
Okay, page 45 of what we've seen here. If you had to pick one version of this, would you rather keep what we got, or would you rather take, and I'll go a step farther, leave the smut in, make it a hard R, Game of Thrones, and go with the version of the script that we're looking at here? In chat too, what do you guys think? I can't do things because I'm in Restream. I was going to make a poll, but
You can do poll if you go to your YouTube studio thing and all that. So
I'm doing it. So you guys talk and vamp.
Yeah, what I was going to say is one of the things that disappointed me the most, of course, was that Tam is so underwhelming with his sword. He's supposed to be a blade master, and we see Lan just dancing amongst the Trollocs, one hit, one kill, and Tam is just getting,
they say, 4.
Yeah, overwhelming Tam, smashing through the older man's defenses. It's so ridiculous, and it really hurt.
Yeah, well, and the fact that they flash the Heron blade and then they don't even mention it again until episode 8. Just it's fan service so they can get the audience applause that initial time, but then they don't do justice to anything in the story behind it. So it's really meaningless.
Hey, Salty, can you check the private chat when you're done doing a million things?
This one? Yeah, I am working on right now. Yes. So it should be on screen. It's allowing you guys to talk.
Yep,
so once again, Al, Dan, bad man, I'm going to assume because I'm part of the patriarchy. Super chat for $10 million. I am sure they shot this insane for most of the other episodes. Whoever was doing the editing went through and removed everything. God, you were right. Men look heroic. It explains a lot. Damn it, Al Dan,
to answer your,
in my opinion, 110 right. Seriously.
Yes, I think
this is a
100%
chat. I mean, undeniable. It's undeniable. And before this script even leaked, I kept pointing out continuity errors that I thought I saw, but I can be a little autistic sometimes, and especially around Moiraine and all of those empty things like the tower. Aldan, I agree with you. All right, I'm going to do this. You guys, Kyle, Nathan, Mike, tell me what you think. Were there moments that you saw in episodes where that just were like, this looks entirely reshot, there's continuity errors, or there's issues that seem weird?
I thought they went out of their way to do things like that. Yeah, for sure. And not just reshooting, but rewriting. You could see one that really still bugs me is the scene in the last episode where Nynaeve has to teach Lan how to track Moraine, someone he's been with for 20 years, and he's a skilled tracker. And had they just cut that dialogue out, had they just not had her say that, would you have questioned how Lan found Moraine? Would you have said, "There's no way he could have found her without Nynaeve telling him how"? But that's the only reason you put that there, right?
Well, actually, Zach, the minute that she started talking to him, I knew that she was going to answer his question from episode 3, when he asked her, "How did you
Right.
find me?"
Yes.
And so that was how they had that little plot hole fixed up. I thought they weren't going to answer it, but they did, and they did it in such a way where it made Lan look weak.
Yeah.
Yuck. Well, they cucked him 3 times in that scene. They cucked. No, seriously, I'm
They
not
did,
being
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
I know.
So what they did, and I talked about it, I think in my part 2 review of episode 8, was they gave Lan's dialogue where he rejected or wore the pants in the relationship when he told Nynaeve that they could never be together because he's married to his job, because he has to fight for his kingdom, because he's a warder. They also had Nynaeve with this bullshit story of, I know all about your Aes Sedai, and I know she leaves the print, and it's like bullshit, you know. So,
Her
but
tell.
the whole thing, yeah,
tell.
she leaves a tell. It's like, but here's the thing, it comes full
Skittles.
circle. Yeah, she leaves. I'm not even going to say it, because that'll get me banned. So. We then see Lan running through Dagobah, the Blight, and he's not looking at the ground. He's not. There's no evidence of someone tracking someone. He's running, leaning on trees like he's looking for something, but never looking at the ground. So that whole thing with Nynaeve was complete and utter bullshit at another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
I wanted to answer the question that you asked a little bit ago. Would I rather have the show version or the script version? And I just decided the script version. And that is because in the script here, in the first episode, we would have had Tam's fever dreams.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And
Say that again, Mike.
The fever
Keep going.
dreams. The fever
Yep.
dreams of Tam as he's being drugged through the forest. It was, they had that, in episode 7, I think it was, or whatever it was? Or was it?
Yeah.
No, it was episode 8. I don't know, whatever it was. But it should have been in the first episode. And it's actually here in the script for the first episode. They have the fever dreams. I found you on the slopes of Dragon Mountain, the whole thing.
Right.
It's all here.
Oh,
But
in the
then-
first episode, you're right. You're right.
I would have taken this script without reading another word, just based on this. Nathan, what do you think? And if anybody has to split, just shout it out.
I'm absolutely on board with that.
And he didn't he didn't help. He wasn't the midwife. Here's the thing right here. Just read that. This was in the first episode, or should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they wanted to have the
I think
whodunit.
that's pulled directly from the book.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I got an update on our chat choice as to would they rather have gotten this script, which to be authentic and with every passing page I believe to be true, would they rather have this or would they have what from Rafe Judkins on screen? Out of 24, we have 88% saying they would rather have the smutty script. If you haven't voted in that, it is on the chat on YouTube. I will continue. We have 74 people in this chat. We are crossing over the 2.5 hour mark. You guys are amazing. All of you fans of genre, you fans of Robert Jordan and Lord of the Rings, hell, you fans of science fiction too. We're all united in this together. Ain't no shields here. Ain't nobody lying to you. We're straight up geeks, nerds. Doesn't matter what color, shape, size we are. We all love good stories, and hail to everyone in the chat.
And
Amen
hail
to
to the
that.
lovely Sherry who's here, who I actually can talk to. Hey, Sherry, thanks for coming.
Outstanding. You're upping my 7.8% female viewership numbers, so thank you for that.
That's a record. DJ Grom's here too.
DJ Grom.
Hey,
Wait, today's
DJ
Tuesday.
Grom. It's Taco Tuesday,
Grom,
Mike.
you doing
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but his schedule is usually for Tuesday. Are you doing some stuff over on Twitch today, Grom? Let us know in chat, please. Yeah. So I'm now pissed off because this is everything that I wanted from that first episode.
What do you mean, Mike? Tell me what you mean.
Well, just basically pointing to the audience, like, yeah, Rand is the dragon, right? It gives you the clues. All the clues were here. Horrified. Like, what is he talking about? About finding Rand, right? It's like all that information that we got from the first book when we read it. It's all here, and they just cut it out because they wanted to maintain the possibility that any of the 5 or whatever the hell it is that they decided on could be the dragon.
I still think that we're going.
Oh, and I'm sorry to interrupt. And the hooded riders that are stalking him through the forest.
God, I want this
all here.
I want this script. Nathan, Kyle, you guys answer that question. Which script would you rather have? This OG one or what Rafe Judkins gave us? Please.
This one. This is an actual script.
Yeah. I mean, it's not much better, but it includes the necessary things that actually make the story cohesive. It actually has a little bit of character development in this latter portion, so you got to go with this one.
And how much time was wasted? Screen time was wasted on the "Who's the Dragon" game that nobody cared about. Like, we could have got that out of the way in the first episode and then learned who the characters are, not who they're not. Right? They're not the dragon.
Yeah.
Great.
That's my biggest problem with the whole season is that they said, well, let's go with this mystery. And it's like, well, in the books, it was only a mystery to those who were actually in the adventure. It wasn't a mystery to the reader. So why are you trying to make this thing a mystery saga? It doesn't belong. It doesn't write up well. And
it's a MacGuffin.
Because they did that. Yeah, and because they did that, they wrote themselves into all sorts of corners that they couldn't get themselves out of.
Yeah, and then they
Absolutely.
were trapped.
Agreed.
They were trapped by ideology, not just the aging up, but also ideology. They really were. I have an update since this is crazy, and I would not interrupt you guys, except that this is too beautiful not to share. We have an update on our poll that is running. We have thirds, and the question is, which Wheel of Time would you rather, what we got or the script? Out of 34 votes, 91% want the original smut script. Wow.
Yeah. That tells you.
I do too. I want the smut script, and not. Yeah, and not for the smut. I mean, that probably would have bothered me. But if we have book dialogue like illiberal autist as in the chat that I've left up, I mean, I can forgive a lot if you're actually quoting the author, you know.
Yeah, I think this would have fixed a lot of the issues throughout the rest of the season, and. Like I still don't really know who the characters are. All I know is they're not the dragon. Like, okay, great. Except Nynaeve, she's the best.
And they're still calling it a katana. It's so fucking dumb. God, it pisses me off.
I know.
Did we
I
see
know.
him use that sword again?
I mean, Kyle, with what you. No. Biggest things though, when I called it out, starting I think in episode. Was we never see Lan train Rand. We also never see train Rand and how to play musical instruments and entertain to therefore be self. Like, those were not accidents. Those were deliberate intersectional feminist decisions to take the role of mentoring away from older guys, which being I'm going to be 52, shocker, in March, really pisses me off. But does it surprise me at all? No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, we got another.
57.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was talking to myself. Go ahead.
Dude, I was going to use that as cover to find the super chat. Sorry.
There's a couple of them there.
I know. I'm working at it. I'm like, I gotta like figure this thing out. So, la 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 la. You guys are humming in chat. We have 73 people. We are. This is fantastic. Something else, and I'm not trying to swerve anybody away. I intend to talk about more than Wheel of Time. I love Robert Jordan, but I'm going to be putting up a poll very soon as to what you would like to see. The last one that I did said that people would love for us to go over 80s movies that maybe were not as popular as, say, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, E.T. There's a whole bunch of really great science fiction and fantasy movies from the 80s, which in my opinion have only gotten better as they have aged. I would love to start covering some of those videos.
I don't think it's going to be anyone's secret which one.
Yes, you are Mr. Conan. You are Mr. Conan, and I would love to cover all the Conan movies and Red Sonja. That would be so much fun. So what do you think, Kyle? Did you get a chance to answer which one you would like? I think you did. Nathan, you did as well. I am going to read a super chat here. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh my God, Resurrection 117. $10. That ain't cheap. This is I'm channeling my oh my God, my inner young Rippa here. Literally anything would be better than what we got, so I'll take the OG script. I honestly, yeah, I will take a random, I will do a blind jump in the Battlestar Galactica rather than stay with Rafe Judkins' shitty. It's not even an adaptation. It's identity theft, in my opinion. We also got another $5 super chat from Paul Wolfley Hale. And let me see. Here we go. Not enough time for everything. Episode 5. Half a episode of Sad Water. That's not a Sad Water. That's the showrunner's boyfriend. Shh. Episode 6 remake of Mean Girls. You are not wrong. It was Disney princess fetishism. I use those words in my own episode 6 review. Not enough time. My backside. Agreed. Well, here's the thing. They probably didn't have enough time, and they probably didn't have enough budget because the original show was probably 80% in the can, and they had to reshoot it to make it more relatable and accessible and ideologically pure.
You saw that too, Mike, huh?
Yeah, you talking about this? Modern.
Wait,
I missed it. What do we got? Oh,
they're using modern cussing instead of blood and bloody ashes and those kinds of things. They have I mean, this just shows you they have no clue what the hell they're doing. But you know what? Let me say this too. I'm now more on board with your reshoots of everything, because in this closing of the show, episode 1, season 1, she does not. I can't see it. I don't find it unless I skip over it. She being Moraine, okay, does not tell anyone that they could be the dragon.
Wow.
She just says, the Trollocs are after you. We have to leave. We have to go now. There's some argument. Why us? I don't understand.
That's perfect.
Moraine looks up the mountain. The army's getting closer. She shakes her head. She does not. So let's say they submitted this script. They got the approval, and then they rewrote it in the version that you know now, where all 4 of you could be, one of the 4 of you is the dragon.
Yeah,
she doesn't say that.
No. The word dragon only appears 3 times in the whole script, and the last one is when Lan sees that flock of sheep and the dragon fang symbol. That's it. Right. So she does not say that they're the dragon reborn.
They didn't put that in one episode of season 1, did they? Not anywhere.
What's that?
About the dragon fang symbol of the Dark Friend, the sort of graffiti
thing. They only showed it twice in the whole series, as far as I know. Once on Swan's door as a kid, and then that flock of sheep. And I don't recall any other occurrence.
Was that
of it.
what that was? I thought it was an
Yeah.
Aes Sedai symbol because it was the CG was so bad. I didn't even cover it in my episode review because I was like, what the hell is that? That makes no sense at all. Wow. Okay. You are giving me wisdom here, Kyle. Thank you.
Yep. And with that, we're at the end, basically.
So still no Tom.
Yeah, no, there's no Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
this is interesting there, Mike. They say the guitar Amoroso voices over that in one age called the third age, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But in the episode, that voiceover was actually Moraine's voice. So
Yes.
Executive producer, let's give her some more screen time. Let's make Moraine, the front and center here. So we're going to give her as much there as possible. So like there was one gal who did a review who's reading the books now for the first time, and she tore the show up one side and down the other for 20 minutes, focusing on the fact that it's Rosamund Pike's pet project.
Oh yeah.
It's
I'm going to reach out to her.
She didn't hold back.
I'm reaching out to her tomorrow. What is her name as a creator? Because I want to give her credit and I want to give her views. Do you remember that?
I'll find it here.
Manetheren. So I've never met this person. This is a big, weird world we all live in. I don't have to tell you that. But if I'm lucky, maybe this person will join us on our next live stream because the work that she's done is fantastic. All of us perceive things differently. And you might want to meet yourself just a little bit, Nathan. But I would love to bring her on a live stream and get a fresh perspective on all these things.
It's embodying mystical Mac.
Yeah.
Embodying mystical Mac.
You know what?
I
I watched her video today, actually. She was in 13 Reasons Why. She's an actress.
No way.
Yeah. It's funny. Wow. I saw her video today. Yeah.
Okay, there's her link for you in the private chat.
Thank you very much for that, Nathan. I am going to reach out to her tomorrow. I would love to have her on the show. If there's anyone else, you guys in the chat that you guys watched that you think would want to hang out with us rascals, let us know. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Getter. You can always send me a message also on YouTube in one of my posts. I read virtually everything that people comment on because I think it's respectful to do that. So let's see what else we've got here. So we are off of that script. We are closing in on 3 hours. We've got 2 3/4 hours. So we originally were going to cover Lord of the Rings, Marvel. I think we did an okay job at that. Mike, is there anything on Mike is a fantastic he's a fantastic organizer,
nice.
And it's something that I need. So what do you got there, buddy? Hold on a second. Let me see.
This is the illustrated guide.
Okay, I'm buying it.
I got this on eBay, so
I know.
luck.
I figured.
Yeah.
I'm buying.
You know, when I got the companion, I actually was trying to buy this for my daughter, and I bought the wrong thing. It was a Christmas present. And so I'm glad to have found this recently. So yeah, this is a really cool guide.
That looks like the right thing to me. God, that looks amazing. So
was that the one written in the late 90s?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to look it up. Yeah. I want to shout out to Caleb Hines. He says, nor do we see Elias.
Yep, 1997.
Non-mentor parent. Yeah, they stripped every strong male character out of this series. Characters who were older males mentoring the boys were either diminished or completely destroyed. And then in the case of Elias, who to me was the ultimate Green Man, Woods guy, Grizzly Adams, Wolf brother, spirit manifestation of the mature masculine, and I'm choosing those words extraordinarily carefully, the mature masculine, the wild masculine, they destroyed him. There was no way they were going to allow someone like Elias to be represented in this show. I'm going to throw it out to you guys, to Kyle, Nathan, and Mike. How did it make you feel to see Elias completely gone from the show? Do you think it was a big deal? Was it not a big deal?
Well, if they're going to nerf Perrin, which they totally did, there's no better way than to, one, have him fridge his wife and then follow that up immediately with cutting Elias. You've completely disabled any real cohesive way to talk about the wolf, the Brotherhood of the Wolf, to describe the wolf dreams, to even describe the yellow eyes. I mean, I think Corey, you mentioned that he has yellow eyes when he goes into Hulk mode. And that's only twice that we see those eyes occur, and it just kind of, it absolutely is devastating, because it cuts, one, a good character out in Elias, but two, what it does to Perrin's arc is the worst point of it all.
100%.
I think that for me, it was a symptom of the larger issue where the show was structured, like you said, away from having any competent males, or for the most part competent males, especially teaching other people skills that couldn't be in the show. And so I think that it should have been a warning sign when we realized he wasn't going to be on the show at all, of what they were doing to the entire cast.
Yeah. Mike, what about you?
Based on the way that the story is going in the television series, I don't think you needed him at all. He's a Tom Bombadil type character, but obviously vastly important for the book story. He should obviously have been there, and they should have done Perrin correctly. But just the direction they're taking Perrin, he was not necessary. So I get why they cut him. It sucks. I liked his character, but they've also. My favorite non-important character was still like Bael Doman, the riverboat captain guy.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to see him so badly. Maybe we still will. So there are so many characters that have been cut. It's hard to choose which one I'd want back in, but I don't know if he's been cut completely, because he does show up several times, and they could also be moving Elias down to, season 2 late, or season 3. We could run into him again.
Not to be confused with the boatman that Maureen killed, right?
Correct. The one that
my son
Tom Matt ran. Right. Yeah.
So here's a question. I'm going to pose this as soon as I read this super chat. This one comes to us again from Paul Wolfley. Hail, sir. Thank you. $5 is not cheap. Thank you. Hear me out. A post-modern with Shad from Night's Watch on Wheel of Time. I have a feeling he would agree to a round table. He agreed to Friday Night Tights. Well, here's the thing. Honestly, I don't know who that is. Everyone on my comment section has been telling me who he is. And I had said in previous live streams, what I don't do is I don't go watch other people's videos and make my content as a derivative of anyone else's work. So whatever autistic rambling insanity you see from me is purely from my demented brain. So I will check out Shad's reviews after I finish with Wheel of Time reviews in general. I'm dropping one tomorrow. I hope. I swear to God I would. This live stream tonight may push it to the day after, just as a heads up. But that is a 42-minute review, and it is really, in my opinion, it's really good. So heads up on that. But Paul Wolfley, thank you for the super chat. I will reach out to Shad, but I will also talk to all of these rascals and ne'er-do-wells that you see on screen here to get their 411 on this cat. Because the internet, as we've learned, especially in the last 2 weeks, can be a very weird place. I'll just say that.
I can say Shad and the Night's Watch are awesome.
Really? Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Zach, I trust
absolutely.
you. All right,
I've been trying to get you to watch his review for weeks now. So yeah, he's
They
awesome.
go deep. They
I know
go
you
deep.
have your policy, but he is freaking. He's a great YouTuber.
I
Love
will
to
watch
death,
him. I will watch him, and I mean, but like I said, I wanted
although
to be pure.
I
pure on this.
prefer Oz to Shad.
He's hilarious. Yeah.
I love Az. I love heel versus babyface.
No, Oz. Oz is his.
Oz.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's his sidekick, one of them. Nathan and Oz, and I like Oz quite a bit.
I have to respect your policy, Salty. That's pretty cool that you do that. That you don't look at other people's reviews at all.
Dude, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things that other people cover out there. Neurotic, Az, Mauler, Critical Drinker. I mean, name it. I mean, I'm a member of the Fellowship. I've been a member of a lot of those guys' channels for over 2 years now, including Doomcock, who I love very deeply, but I don't always agree with. I love Overlord DVD. I do. I don't just always agree with him. However, I don't want to watch their stuff and then end up parroting what they're doing. I want to do my own stuff. Hail to Aussie7798. Shad has been in a number of EFAP videos, as well as does a lot of stuff on armor and weapons. Okay, this cat sounds righteous. The minute that this episode 8 review is up, I will go check him out. He sounds like a righteous guy. I don't know if he'll want to talk to me because I'm small potatoes, but maybe he will. So
he's got 2 channels, one called Night's Watch and another one called Shadiversity. But that
Okay.
focuses more on weapons and actual use of medieval weaponry, but it's also really good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard the name before. It's just, like I said, I wanted to, I didn't want to end up parroting what other people said intentionally. And I agree with you, Brian Martin, the drinker, is freaking awesome. Has Gary Nerdrotic says he is the pretty girl of YouTube. I don't know how Drinker does it. Drinker's he's a badass in his books. I've read his book series, a couple of them. It's really good. I mean, this is a guy who earned, and in my opinion, Critical Drinker deserves every accolade that he has ever received. We've got Brett Rose saying, I'm not doing a channel. I thought about buying a mic and getting some equipment. Brett Rose, you go ahead, reach out to me or anybody on this chat. There are things that you want to avoid as far as mics go. I have recommendations, but so does Mike. Everybody does things differently. The more of us that are out there expressing ourselves, and you notice that Mike, Nathan, Kyle, and I, we agree on some things, but we are not just carbon copies of each other. We have very different life experience, and that's what, in my opinion, makes these live chats so much fun, is because we may have read the same books and watched the same TV shows, but we have experienced them as very different people. So your voice, Brett Rose, would only add to the beautiful tapestry of crazy and good that is YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's plenty of room out there on YouTube for everybody. Every single one of you could have your own channel and do really well at it. So don't follow what I do, because I can't seem to get content out there. Although I do have a book of Boba Fett review of episode 1 landing tomorrow morning. So we'll see what that's all about.
I can't wait for it, honestly, because I'm not watching that. That's one of those shows, and you guys jump in on this and tell me what you think. First of all, I'm never giving Disney a dollar knowingly again. I will buy their media on physical media only. But the things I've heard about Boba Fett, it just sounds like it's not Boba Fett. It's kind of a chunky older bald dude who is not Boba Fett. I don't know what else to say.
Boba Fett is original Star Wars trilogy. This is not Boba Fett, but that's part of my review. So I'll save all the details.
Kyle, what do you think? Have you seen Book of Boba Fett?
I've watched the first episode, and I'm gonna watch it. It's not Boba Fett though, and they spend a lot of time beating him up and making him look weak in the first episode, and I hope that's just the first episode. Spoilers, sorry. He has his moment though. He does have one cool moment, and honestly, I didn't like him in Mandalorian. I thought his armor looks cheap. It doesn't look like Boba Fett's armor to me. It looks like it's worse than cosplay in some places.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that. I've heard that on, what was it, Friday Night Tights on New Year's Eve. I absolutely heard that same thing. And I mean, that's the thing about The Mandalorian. I didn't watch The Mandalorian because, again, The Last Jedi broke me. The Last Jedi is what sent me onto YouTube. I never watched YouTube unless it was like, okay, how do you fix your remote start key that's broken? Like, that's what I went to YouTube for. I didn't watch nerd stuff. And I watched The Last Jedi, and I felt psychologically violated like Superman did in the latest DC comic thing that's popped up. And I stumbled across Nerdrotic and Doomcock and and Geeks and Gamers, and suddenly there were people out there that were saying what I couldn't say to those around me, my loved ones, because they don't care about geek stuff and nerd stuff. So they didn't understand why I was so upset. It's the War Stars movie. Why aren't you happy? And it was a blessing, and it's just, I can never claim to be as talented as those other people, but I am going to try, and I appreciate you being in our live stream. I got another super chat. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. And thank you for staying with us for 3 hours. This is from Resurrection 117 for $5. Thank you. Says, I would love to see you talk to Daniel Green, but I highly doubt that would be an agreeable conversation, but it would be hilarious. Now, this may surprise you, but I can hold my own pretty damn well. And I would love to have a conversation with someone respectfully based on not ad hominem attacks who completely disagrees with me. If you guys can find somebody who would come on a live stream and we could talk about Wheel of Time or anything else like that, I would welcome that. And if I get my ass beat like a gong, I would own up to that. But I'm not afraid of I'm not afraid of strong language, raised voices, or throwing beer bottles at all. So bring it the hell on. Seriously. Hail to you, Resurrection 117. Zax, you probably know better than I do, and Mike and Nathan, who the hell Daniel Green is.
I do know who he is. He's been a shill, in my opinion, almost the entire time. And then something happened with the last two reviews he's done. I haven't really watched a lot of them because I know where he's going with most of it. But the last two, he gets super pacey, like physically pacing, and he goes off on the show and how they screwed things up. So I don't know if they stopped paying him, but he has a giant channel, like 160,000 subscribers, something like that. And he's been the Wheel of Time guy all along with the books and all. And by the end, he was even saying, yeah, this is not good. And he was very pissed about Perrin. All the stuff that we're talking about today, he was saying in his last two episodes. So the checks must have bounced, or I don't know what happened, but he's more reasonable at the end. I can appreciate that.
I can't. not starting drama, but he should have been on board from episode 1 or before, and money talked. And I was going to leave it there. I don't want to start more internet drama, but yeah,
Well, what did you see, Mike?
Hard pass.
What did you see, and not qualitatively but quantitatively, that you can reference that makes you feel that way? And again, I don't make up bullshit drama. I just want to know because I don't know this guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention anything. I'm done with that conversation. This is
okay.
I don't want to even talk about him.
Nathan, what about you? Did you send Christmas cards to Daniel Green?
No. No, I'm in the same camp as Mike on this one. It's like, your money. If you're going to let the money dictate how you talk, then is your opinion really worth anything? Because it's really then not your opinion. And so with that, I got a second bug to go through the Wheel of Time by listening to Daniel Green talk about it on his booktube. That's what they call them. And it was some good stuff. His assessments of the Wheel of Time books, and then he's just started. Well, the show started coming out, and he started putting news on there, and I'm just like, yeah, there are other people I can listen to than this guy. You know, he's just on a different spectrum.
Yeah, I would say that Daniel Green from 5 years ago, whatever, I liked. He was not subscription worthy to me, but you know, I'd watch his content once in a while. He did some fun breakdowns of which fantasy character would win in an all-out sword fight, you know, from this person from this book, and the stuff like that was fun. I didn't agree with his choices, but they were fun.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think
when he's done stuff like that, I liked it.
Yeah, and I think the timing that you're talking about, Mike, was when he quit his job and went full time. So when he became completely dependent upon outside sources of money with YouTube rather than you know, doing in his real life, I started seeing a change in tune with him.
See, you guys know way more Daniel Green lore than I do. I've stumbled across him recently, and what I saw from what I saw was he reminded me of like a villain who at the very end does the right thing. That's kind of what I saw. You know what I mean?
There's a redemption arc, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed that way, but yeah, I don't have any history with him. I started watching a few of his earlier videos and couldn't watch them anymore, and then at the end, I watched his last one, and then I'm like, okay, I went back and watched the one before, and he was already on it there. So yeah, I don't have a history, but I thought he fell in his sword a bit at the end.
Yeah, just because Darth Vader killed the Emperor doesn't mean that he's a good guy.
No, it's true. No. I mean, no, that's a good analogy, and I don't know this cat, so I'm not going to disparage his character. I'm not, dude. There was nothing ironic in that, man. I swear to God.
Okay, that's cool. Mike, could you please disparage his character so I don't have to? No.
I never said that.
No,
I'm a really good interviewer. I may lead you down a path that you choose to go down that path, and then we'll go with that. All right. I'm going to shout out Paul Wolfley. Dan, and Paul Wolfley are tonight's producers. You guys are on fire. This whole chat, you're still hanging. We got almost about 60 people. Man, nothing but love. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I don't need to tell you what the last 2 years were like. We're not going to get into politics, but my God, it's this is so refreshing to share this and to create our own. And I don't want to steal stuff from Nerdrotic, but our own cadre of geeks and nerds who are coming together to share things and to vent and to rip on things and to call bullshit where bullshit is entirely obvious. So Paul Wolfley, a super chat for 10 Yankee bucks. Don't be surprised. Just don't change. 3 years as a D. This guy was a DS, a DI. I learned to maintain your integrity and people will respect you. Don't be a Jack Murphy. Well, there's a lot of reasons not to be Jack Murphy. At the top of my list, God, I'm drinking right now. I'm gonna ease back the throttle on that. There's a lot of things not to do in life, and what we've seen with this latest internet what's the right word? Help me out here. Reveal is that eventually you can fool some of the people some of the time, but eventually you can't fool anybody at all. I don't have anything to say on Jack Murphy, and the reason why is because honest to God, I didn't know who this dude was. It was another dude selling a men's program. Everything I know about Jack Murphy came to me from the quartering because I don't always agree with Jeremy. I like his content. If anybody is a professional at what he does, it is the quartering. Hail to you, quartering. But let's read this super chat again. Don't be surprised. Just don't change. 3 years as a DI, DS, and you can tell that I might have been around the military. I learned just maintain your integrity and people will respect you. Don't be a Jack Murphy. Well, the same thing is true in corporate America. I've been in, what do I say? I used to make things that go boom. Let's just say that. And it wasn't on land. And you are not wrong, Paul Wolfley. Hail to you. we come into this world with only one thing, and that is our name and the value of our name. What we do with that is up to us. I'm just going to say that and get off my old ass Gen X soapbox. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about what Paul Wolfley said?
About Jack Murphy, I think he's right. I think that Jack Murphy, first of all, has the worst beard of all time, and secondly, he threw out as many different personas as he possibly could to get traction. So he was willing to be everything to everybody, but it's the internet, so it exists forever. And so finally something caught traction, which was this alpha male thing he's trying to pull. But his history was still out there, and people eventually found it. And when he was called on it, he acted like a bitch about it. So he's not an alpha male. And like, that's his market now. So he buried himself, in my opinion.
Mike, Nathan, what do you think? Add your 2 cents to that.
I know about as much about Jack Murphy as you do.
Yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about him. I used to watch him, not watch him, but Tim Pool is one of the best news aggregate website or YouTube channels. So if you want to know what the hell is going on out there, even if you don't agree with Tim Pool or don't like him, you're going to get all the news that's important going on. He covers so much, and he's always on top of everything. Or maybe it's Lydia that really is. Who knows? But
I love Lydia. I love Lydia.
But she's amazing. But he's always on his show, or at least it seems like he's always there. And he was one of the reasons why I tuned out of Tim Pool for quite a while, is I just didn't like the guy. This was before any of this drama happened. I didn't like Jack Murphy. I was like, why is this guy always on Tim Pool? And so that's the only experience I have with him. And then he blows up at Sydney Watson, who I like Sydney Watson. I always have. I'm not white knighting for her. I just, the few videos, the few is literally the 3 or 4 videos of hers I've ever seen. I've liked them, but that's it. So when I saw him, say mean things to her, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought. He's just a piece of shit. So, yeah. Let's see what else, but it's coming around for him. I guess he was supposed to do some kind of a press conference. I don't know what that was all about. Wasn't something I cared about. So yeah, we have I waited over a year watching every leak. I had a premiere party for this. Garbage was so embarrassing. Yeah, so you actually invited people over, sat everybody down, got drinks, popcorn. Everybody get ready. This is going to be amazing. And Matt sees this garbage on his screen. Jeez, poor guy.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's a bottle of liquor and some Xanax after that party's over.
Well, I've got everything but the Xanax over here. I am drinking bourbon, in case you didn't know. I love me some bourbon. No, I mean, I don't have an opinion to offer of any value on this, except that it's been said by much bigger people than I am that the internet is forever. Corporate America, you never write an email in a way that you or use language or share things that especially at work, where if your grandmother saw it, that you wouldn't have an issue with it. And something like this, I've seen still images that haunt my dreams, and to each their own. Get your freak on. You do you, as long as it's 2 consenting adults. But God, man, hypocrisy, that's a whole next level thing. And I could never imagine, oh boy, I have to be careful how much I say and what I do, but I could never imagine manipulating men, especially young men in the world where we are today, and selling them something that was a complete and total lie. I don't know how else to say it.
That pretty much covers it.
Got a super chat from Punk Waddle, who is a wrench, a mod in this show. Thank you, brother. Oh my God, you didn't have to. This is all Kyle. Like, go watch Zach's stuff. Go subscribe to Zach's. Zach's is all over so many amazing independent creators out there that are up and coming and monetized and not monetized, and they're speaking truth in their own voice. I try to jump on as many streams as I can to support them. Also, support Brightest Day. He is a fantastic guy, covers Battlestar Galactica. I want to have him on again. He was with Mike and I on my very first live stream. Punk Waddle super chat for 5 Yankee bucks. Hey, it's fun hanging out with you guys everywhere else on YouTube. So thanks for being here and doing this too. Well, hail to you. Thanks for putting up with the boomerang. Thanks for volunteering, and thanks for being on this live stream as a mod. So hail to you all. I cannot believe this. We still have 64 people in chat. That is remarkable.
Nick McCabe's here too. He has a channel as well, and he does some Wheel of Time work.
Oh, right on. Nick, reach out to me on Twitter or Getter. Put something in my comments section. I love to talk to everybody, man. I want to get somebody else's opinion. And those of you in chat, if you're doing work, if you've got a channel, man, I want to meet all of you. I want to talk to all you cats, man. Let's make this what it's supposed to be, which is a series of independent people who are all free thinkers arriving at our own individual conclusions. You know, that's what this is all about. Brian Martin, he says, have to peace out. Enjoy the show immensely. Until next time, folks. Hail to you, Brian Martin. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's getting a little late, especially for your East Coasty folks. Outstanding. I am going to pull up Nick.
I can get his channel up.
Yeah. Give him a shout out, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. A couple people on this chat have to go. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at the poll that I still have up, because I think this is absolutely fascinating. We have, oh wow, so the poll that I put on YouTube, which one would you rather have? We have 46 votes. The original smut script, 93% of you would rather have the original Skinemax Wheel of Time script. Only 7% would prefer to have what Rafe Judkins barfed on our screens. Wow.
That says it all.
Wow. All right, let's go ahead.
Did we lose you, Salty?
Did he mute himself?
I think you're muted, Salty. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh, gone.
Mm-hmm. Rant
Is
for
Mike
Australia.
run out of batteries?
All right.
He keeps coming and going.
Restream.
That's all right. So
No, it's a restream.
Restream.
No,
okay.
Restream locked up on me. Sorry about that. Don't get restream,
All right, you're
guys.
back.
I'm going to tell
You're
you
good.
that
You're
Restream
good.
locked up. I had to reboot. So sorry about that. I just wanted to shout Nick McCabe too. I'm new to Wheel of Rant for Australia. Nick, rant for Australia. Rant for Australia and content, and reach out to any of the people on this show. Let's go around the horn. Restream is acting like Joe Biden. I do this before it crashes. Let's start with a Man of Manetheren, Nathan channel.
My channels, like it says there on the screen, I'm a Manetheren. Going to concentrate on Wheel of Time stuff. Going to try and put out a video a week as time allows. Yeah, but it's just getting started, so I got 2 or 3 videos up right now, and I think I've probably doubled my subscribers just by appearing on this show. So thanks for the opportunity, Corey.
And his
Oh my
link
God,
is going to
Nate.
go right there.
Yep,
That's
I put it up
Manhattan.
on screen too. Yeah, go check out Nick and Sam McCabe as well. and we'll go ahead. We've dropped the link to Man of Manetheren as well. Nathan's a great dude. He just, you know how this works is you reach out to people and you're like, hey, you want to come on my show? And Nathan's like, well, yeah, I guess I will. And that's how this all comes together. So there's no great secret to this. It's just a matter of networking. So hail to that. Let's go ahead. Zax, let's go to you. Kyle, brother, shout your stuff out, man.
All right. So I'm kind of new to YouTube. I just started making videos inspired by Salty and some of these other guys, and trying to make some comedy-ish videos. And kind of my whole point is I've decided that I don't want to convince someone not to like something. So if they like it, great. I'm still going to make fun of it, and if they like how I make fun of it, that's even better. So that's kind of what I've been working on my channel. And so if you're curious about what it would be like if Perrin and Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction were cut together to the sounds of Love Shack by B-52s, then you want to come and check out my channel.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it. Oh my God.
Second that.
Kyle.
It is some of the funniest things. Oh man.
Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I will drop my link.
Perfect.
Holy crap.
I know. I'm jumping too. Believe me, the chat has gone crazy. We're getting some late breaking super chats. This one again from Resurrection 117, another executive producer for tonight, for 5 Yankee bucks. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Are you still considering the Chronicles of Shannara? I am always considering the covering of the Chronicles of Shannara because I am a lecherous 50-year-old man. What do we think, guys, in this chat? Would you guys come back and we talk about, say, season 1 of the Shannara Chronicles? Maybe talk about that for a live stream. Would anybody be interested in that in chat? Would you want to see that?
I haven't watched it, but I would. I'm pretty sure Crixus is in it from Spartacus. I like him.
Yeah, I've never read the books. I think I've read the first 100 pages of the first book, but I never watched the show.
I have read some of book. I don't know. I know that Alan Knight gets his arm cut off at some point. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I was a teenager.
Spoiler for amputation.
Yeah.
Still better than the screenplay we just read.
And I did see the first 2 seasons. I saw them once when they were fresh, and then just last week. This is kind of awkward because I was actually intending to bring that up and do it on my channel.
Oh, okay.
So you know,
we can do it on your channel, Mike. We can do it on OBG70, and you know we can get monetized for that, or we can do whatever you want. So Resurrection 117 isn't wrong. It was low budget porn. The thing about it is that having read that original Wheel of Time script, the Shannara Chronicles was really tame, but boy, I don't care what people think about what I'm about to say. There was some really good eye candy in the Shannara Chronicles. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was watching a senior high school level prom thing happening with random spring break people that they were standing around watching Pauly Shore, you know, back in the day. And they're like, hey, we need 50 people to be in our fantasy show. And pick 50 hot people from this crowd, and we'll see if we can make them do it. That's the kind of level of acting, the way they looked, the way they dressed, the makeup. They're out in the sticks with their makeup all done. I mean, that's what I felt. I felt like, okay, this is freshman college. This is a party. This is spring break. Pauly Shore's on stage, and they just went around. They went around handing out little flyers to people, saying, "Do you want to be in Chronicles of Shannara? How about you? Do you want to be?" And they just pick you go, like if you're throwing a party at your house, you always pick like the top 100 best looking girls to come to your party, right? That's who you give the flyers to. That's what I felt like they did. It was just the whole time I felt it was very cringe. And now, now that I've said everything I need to, I don't need to do a live stream.
Oh,
it's all,
yeah, you do.
It's all over.
No.
It's all over
you
for
do.
me.
No,
I know.
you do.
No,
No,
I am.
Honestly, and here's the thing: the main female lead from the Shannara Chronicles actually went on to be a character in Downton Abbey.
Never seen it.
So, yeah. So I just bring that up for context that this wasn't not everybody.
Which main female? The elf princess.
The elf,
woman?
the elf
Okay.
princess.
Yeah, I prefer the Rover girl. I thought she was hotter.
She was also the young girl that was in that Gaiman adaptation. Oh my God, you guys are gonna kill me in chat. The Gaiman, it wasn't the Sandman, it was the other one that they did. Anyway, that's another live stream for another day. But She grew up. She absolutely grew up. We got another super chat. Look at this, $2. Chronicles of Shannara was just bad, not a mockery like Judkin's Wheel of Time. That comes from Thad. That's
the special effects hold up. Like all the cinematography and stuff, all the modeling for like the world that's all rusted away and all that.
100%.
All that. I still think it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I think some of that stuff is way better than I've seen on Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and there is girl power stuff in that, but it's not. Oh my God!
Oh, the main guy with the elf stones is freaking useless. He's absolutely useless.
Absolutely.
God,
absolutely.
Damn.
But if anybody has to split, we are going to wind this thing down. All right, now who did I leave off with? We did Man of Manetheren. We did Zach's. Mike, go ahead, shout your channel out. I know everybody's got to go.
You can find me over on OBG70 on YouTube. I would appreciate very much a subscription. I am trying to reach 500. I'm at like 369, something around there. I'm struggling because I'm not putting out content. So if you throw me a pity subscription, I would appreciate it. You can also find me over on Getter, where I've created an account just yesterday. So I have nothing posted there yet, but I will be posting. And it's at OBG70 as well. I'm on Twitter, but let's forget about Twitter for now because, I don't even care. And with that, we're here in 2022. Let's hope that this is going to be a great year for streaming. I'm excited to see what we can do with all the different subjects coming up. We will have late 2022 Lord of the Rings and season 2 of Wheel of Time. That's going to be a lot of content for us. I got to start drinking. I don't drink. I need to start. Because I'm not going to get through it. And with that being said, I do appreciate Corey hosting, and this has been a lot of fun.
Oh my
I love
God!
It. Yes, Paul. I need. Yes, exactly what I need.
No, Mike. Honestly, Mike was the first guy I ever live streamed with. He reached out to me. I love doing this with Mike, and honestly, Zach, Kyle. Let's keep doing this. I'm going to send out an invite for next week. I don't know how you guys in chat feel about it, but I think this is a pretty damn good crew we got going on here. Yep. I would love to rotate some other folks in, but not take away who we got. So let's keep doing it. On that note, I'm going to say one more thing and then shout myself out. Brett Rose, I watched the first season of American Gods, but couldn't get into it. American Gods.
That's it.
Is one of my favorite books ever. I read it twice a year. I tried to watch what they did to it, and I couldn't get through season 1. This live stream could go on 2 more hours if I started talking about it. We're just gonna say I think we should talk about American Gods very soon. So hail to everyone in the chat. I am gonna cycle through the messages to make sure I don't boomer anybody. We're going to close the show out with the last super chat of the night from Al Dan. Cheers, boys. Thanks heaps for this. I got to run too. You all have a good sleep or a good whatever you do. Those in Australia, in New Zealand, other places, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been a blast. Thank you to all of the people who are on my live stream. Thanks to everyone who's been in the chat. Thank you so much for the super chats. I have so much gratitude for all of you, and especially to those people who consistently show up to the premieres that I have. And Restream is acting psycho. All right, here we go. So this is Salty Texas Sea. I am Corey DB, for better or for worse. I will be dropping my episode 8 part 3 review tomorrow. It is 40 minutes long. I look forward to your feedback. All of you have a very pleasant evening, a pleasant week. I'm going to take you out with the intro outro of my deep fake Corey DB reveal. Have a great week, everybody. We will talk again soon.